This movie is underrated.
Yeah?
Yeah, people on this movie left and right. You included up until yesterday.
Oh my god, I know. I did. I was like, who the crap cares about Agent Barton? Let me tell you who the crap cares about Agent Barton now.
I'm telling you.
Me.
All right. Let's
Forget the rest of the Avengers. This is Hawkeye's show.
I want a Hawkeye movie, man. Like,
I didn't. Now I do.
I know. It'd be awesome. Hi, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs.
I'm still Tyler Carlin.
And I'm still Ethan Edgehill.
And this is our weekly podcast where we talk about Marvel movies right now.
And anything else that comes up.
So thanks for tuning in this week for a brand new episode on Not a Brand New Movie.
Or like 30 seconds after the last one finished. We're not going to judge you, I promise.
I hope you laughed at that quote that Morty had right there at the end. If this is your first time joining us, we recommend you take a listen to any of our first 6 episodes. There's an intro in there that is super in-depth. Basically, Ethan and I have been watching movies for a long time.
We'll tell you a little bit about who we are.
And what we do.
And what this podcast is.
And it will give you a great background on what you're about to hear up to 5 movies before this movie.
So listen to the rest of them after that. Regardless, welcome. We're so glad you joined us this week.
And we make absolutely no promises as to how long this intro will stick around, but it is almost over this time.
So buckle up, because we're going to dive right in. Without further ado, Tyler, what did you think of the 2015 classic Age of Adeline?
Age of Adeline? Isn't that an Anne Boleyn song?
No, it's a Blake Lively movie that you, I'm guessing, didn't watch. Again, as usual.
Oh, no! I have... Back up. I have seen that movie. I actually really liked it. That's where she falls in love with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, great movie.
And then falls in love with Harrison Ford's kid.
Yes, sir. That is it.
Yeah, and then
that's
they do the movie theater. Oh my god, that's a great movie.
If we, might be the one.
If we ever,
I've never seen this movie.
If we ever do time travel themed love movies, that one can be on the list. Yeah, really liked it.
So that'll be like, what, that About Time in the Fountain?
The Fountain, excellent film, although I'm completely blanking on it right now. The Time Traveler's Wife, obviously.
The Time Traveler's Wife is a crap movie. Anyway, what movie did we watch this week?
I didn't watch Age of Adeline this week, but I did watch Age of Ultron, which was super duper good.
Oh, great movie. When did it come out? I forgot.
Less than 1,000 days
We're
ago.
We're within 1,000 days now. Wow. That's
1,000 days. 942 days ago as of this Tuesday recording. It had a insane budget of $316 bajillion, which is a fancy way of saying $1 million. But it made a bajillion dollars.
It cost almost $100 million more than any other Marvel movie so far, but it did make $1.4 billion worldwide.
Yeah, that's the 7th highest of all time, any movie, period. It's the 2nd highest Marvel movie. So those cats over at Disney know what they're doing.
Before we move on from that, I'm going to blow your mind for a second, okay?
Okay.
So it was the 7th highest grossing movie of all time, right?
Yep.
It was only the 4th highest grossing movie of 2015.
Really?
Really.
What were the other... I guess that was when The Force Awakens came out.
Force Awakens? What else?
Oh, man. I have no idea.
It was The Force Awakens, Jurassic World.
Oh, those do super duper well.
And Furious 7.
Those do surprisingly well, and that one particularly because that was the one after his death.
where Paul Walker died.
Yeah. So this movie, I don't agree with any of these ratings. 75% critic is lowballing it. 83% audience is unbelievable, given that audiences should have really enjoyed this, but I'm willing to bet I know what their complaint is. And then Metacritic just gave it a good failing grade of a 66 out of 100.
Metacritic hates everything that's not Guardians of the Galaxy, though. So, are you really surprised?
Yeah, I know. What do you think why do you think the audience didn't like it, Ethan? If you were to give just a overlying one thing that did it.
I don't know if I could tell you, because honestly, the complaints I hear don't make sense to me. Everybody's like, it's too dark, it's too emo, it's just, like, why is everything so serious?
It's none of those things.
Yeah, that's what everybody says about it, though.
I'll tell you why audiences didn't like it. I can tell you why audiences didn't like it.
Okay.
It's 144 minutes long.
It is long.
Audiences don't have that kind of attention span.
It is long.
It is so incredibly long. Also, if your complaint is that it's dark and emo, audiences loved The Dark Knight.
I would agree with that, but like that's what people always say when they take poops on this movie.
No, I think what people say is that Ultron had a stupid motive, which
They're wrong.
Whatever.
They're just wrong.
I mean, he had great execution.
Yeah, he was pretty successful. There could have been.
Yeah, he was very close to successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was it. It was long.
If there wasn't Jarvis, he would have destroyed the whole world pretty easily.
It over. Yeah, Jarvis is pretty rock solid of a character.
Yeah.
But I watched it over 2 days, so I didn't really care that it was long. Because I watched it until I was tired, but I was already...
I watched it in one sitting. I struggled. It's a long movie. Yeah, by the end of it, I was just kind of like, is this going to end?
Yeah, that one of my chief complaints with it is in that final fight scene where they just have so many, they've got to be heroes moments.
Yeah, there's a lot,
with
of that.
save the civilians, because
and that whole final fight scene just seemed and I get that it's a superhero movie. There's got to be a big fight climax, but like out of all the movies we've seen so far, that one almost just seemed unnecessary and kind of off-brand.
It definitely wasn't off-brand. It was literally exactly the same as fighting the Chitauri.
No, I agree with that, but like I don't think that that's how Ultron would have handled that.
Oh yeah, no, Ultron would if Ultron, he would have just made more robots that were not there.
Right.
Easy enough.
Well, no, but that was the thing, is they couldn't do that because he got disconnected from the internet.
Oh.
There's that whole thing, which is like a really bad piece of acting from somebody. I can't remember. One of the girls that's like, they're locking him out of the internet. Now we can't escape that way.
Exposition, right? That's what that's called?
I mean, sort of. It's a little bit late in the movie for anything kind of exposition to happen, but it's just... I think it's what we call a plot hole.
Have you seen the Fantastic Four?
I have.
Yeah, they were doing exposition while Doctor Doom was being eaten alive by lava.
Yeah, I think that's what we call in the industry a plot hole. Like they got there and somebody was like, couldn't Ultron just hop out of the body and go somewhere else like he's done 45 other times in the movie?
Right.
And Joss Whedon was like, you shut your mouth.
And
gets on his phone and is like, hey, we need a new script for the last 5 minutes because Ultron could just jump out of the thing. Sorry.
Armageddon was a stupid movie, but people love that.
What?
Right? Why would you train a bunch of miners to go there instead of just train astronauts
to dig? Yeah. That's the thing with most like space movies.
Right. Why wouldn't you just train astronauts to be botanists?
Yep. Well, I mean, that's The Martian for you.
Yeah. I guess that movie doesn't have quite the same problem. Like botany is like a lifetime study. Not that coal mining isn't. Or whatever they're mining.
What? Martian doesn't. First of all, The Martian doesn't have problems.
No, that movie's sweet.
Yeah. But
it got like the Iron Man problem at the end. But we'll get there way off topic.
We'll do that movie eventually.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I do want to do some follow up, but I can't remember what follow up you told me to talk about. So I'm just gonna let you lead here.
So we got a couple of let's just call them inaccuracies in the last episode. Most of them were my fault.
Wrong. Oh no, wait, that's right.
Yeah.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong. So first of all, Barack Obama was not in Parks and Rec. Michelle Obama was. Joe Biden was. I got overzealous and I panicked, okay? Listen.
You know what drives me crazy is when you say listen.
Why?
Because then you don't follow it up with anything. I texted you the other day.
Oh, I do that.
And you just responded and said, listen.
I do that specifically to annoy you.
I was furious because I followed it up and I was like, okay, but you still haven't done the thing. And you just said, listen. And I think that was exactly how the conversation went. I can't even remember what it was.
It is exactly how the conversation went. But me saying listen in that case is me being like, listen, I know. I get it. What you're saying, you don't have to keep saying anymore.
Well, I did keep saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else have we gotten wrong, Ethan? I don't think we've ever gotten anything else wrong.
I'm checking.
I know that somebody let us know that Groot is one of many Groots.
Yes, it was Nathaniel Miller on our Facebook group. He's having a good time in there and letting us know things. But he gave us a little bit of background on Groot and Rocket and how they met and even shared a video with us about Groot and Rocket.
Yes, he did, but I was at work and then I came here, so I have not yet watched it.
Me either. I've done the same thing. I came off work and came and did a podcast.
Yep.
I referred to Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, as Seth Rollins, the wrestler.
Wow, how did you mess that up?
How
did I not catch that?
I did, and you know what the worst thing is you said Seth MacFarlane, and I was like, yeah, Seth Rollins. That 100% happened. That 100% happened.
Okay,
one last piece of feedback is I told you were reaching when you said that that young Peter had a black eye because he was getting beat up in the schoolyard because he was talking about his mom too much. And literally, apparently, I went and rewatched the scene again. His mom's just like, "Oh, did you get the black eye from fighting in the schoolyard?"
No way.
Yeah,
that really
she
happened?
legitimately says it. It's in the first 2 minutes of the movie.
Wow,
it just
I can't believe
seemed
you and I didn't catch
it seemed
that.
way too like he was for me to make sense in my mind. He was way too afraid of his grandfather for it to be anything else, and I still agree with that. But like I made it seem like there was no possible way you were correct, and you were probably correct, and I want to apologize.
I will grant you this. Maybe he is telling his mom that it's the schoolyard boys that are beating him when really it's Grandpa.
And that's what I'm thinking. I still think that's the thing because like Grandpa didn't seem like he was super nice and he wasn't super thrilled to go stay with Grandpa until big scary alien dad came back.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe that. That's crazy.
Yep.
So let's get into our review. We're going to do the same thing I think we did last time where we're going to
talk about some characters.
Characters, that's right. This movie's got some great characters. I'm going to pull the film up on IMDb real quick because I'm just an unprepared person all around. Age of Ultron. Ethan, how'd you watch this movie?
I watched this movie on
Okay, so there's a bunch of characters in this movie.
All right, run me
We're gonna go
through
through them all. Do you want to go through the new ones? I'm going to run you through who everybody is.
Go for it, because I don't have this page pulled up, so you're going to lead this part.
So there's Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
Bruce Banner.
Are we just listing everybody right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Tony Stark, Thor, Bruce Banner, Steve Rogers, Natasha Romanoff, Clint Barton, Ultron, Nick Fury, James Rhodes, Pietro Maximoff, Wanda Maximoff, Jarvis, Maria Hill, Sam Wilson. So that's the characters in this movie, Ethan.
You
like that voice?
Trying to say Maximoff with a New York Boston accent.
War Machine.
War Machine.
Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch,
Pietro Maximoff.
Wanda Maximoff. I was Cosmo and Wanda for Halloween. I mean, I was Cosmo, but you know.
Yeah.
You know how it works. Anyway, let's go through them all. Let's just go down the list. Tony Stark, what'd you think?
Tony Stark was great in this movie.
Disagreed. Poor showing. There's no way Tony Stark is who Tony Stark says Tony Stark is. Tony Stark is the villain in this movie. He creates Ultron, and then he creates Vision, not knowing that Vision could be a good guy. And Vision could still be a bad guy, since somehow the Infinity Gauntlet
God's name are you talking about? He built Vision knowing Vision can stop Ultron.
Yeah, but he didn't know that he was going to be a good guy. He also built Ultron, okay? Are you not remembering this part? He also didn't make an Iron Man suit out of unobtainium or whatever it's called.
Hang on.
I'm just saying. Tony Stark is the worst hero in this movie.
Tony Stark did not build Ultron.
Yes, he did.
Ultron built Ultron.
Okay, but Tony Stark gave him the vessel in which he could be created.
Yeah, and then Jarvis and Ultron built each other together.
I'm not about this Ultron guy.
I mean, that's fine. Anyway, I think the Tony Stark character did well in this movie.
And then at the end, he's like, I'm hanging it up again.
Yeah, because
like he did at the end of Iron Man 3.
Well, no, he didn't do it at the end of Iron Man 3.
He did. Oh, God.
No, he didn't.
I'm telling you, man, they added that last line in post. Like after the movie was in theaters.
What line?
Where he's like, I am Iron.
They definitely added that in post.
Well, obviously that in post, but I meant like...
He brings the robot. Okay, are we back on this? He brings the robot with him. The robot that helps him build and test the Iron Man suits, he brings it with him with the electric Audi. He hitches a trailer up to the back of it and brings it to his new location.
Exciting
he had
news.
No intention of not continuing to build Iron Man suits. Get over yourself.
Exciting news in the world of Acura and Audi. No more Acuras. Yay. And there was more than one Audi in this movie. There was an Audi A3 convertible that Clint and Natasha drive.
There was
I don't know how... Go ahead.
I was going to say there is an electric Harley Davidson in this movie.
There is?
Yeah, that bike that Natasha rides.
Yeah, the bike that Natasha rides, yep. And there is a... Because Audi doesn't make bikes, do they?
No.
BMW does.
They're like pretty much the only car company other than Honda that does.
And it was an R8 at the end, right?
The end? What are you talking about?
Orange R8.
Yeah.
Gas-powered R8.
Yep.
That's self-driving, which is kind of cool.
I mean, I'm pretty sure all of Tony Stark's cars are self-driving.
Yeah, but, I mean, whatever.
Listen, man, if he can build Ultron, he can make a car pull itself out of a garage.
That's true. That's true. The remote start brings it right to you. So I don't know. I mean, listen, I think Tony Stark overall in this movie, obviously not bad. Robert Downey Jr. still kills the role.
I guess that's mainly what I was referring to. Is Robert Downey Jr. I think delivers a great performance with what he was given in it, and that he's supposed to be like this ambiguous character.
Yeah, but what I don't like that after Ultron happens and they go back and they're like, we're gonna resurrect Jarvis in the Ultron extra body, the bio body or whatever you want to call it, that he doesn't consult the team. You know?
Yeah, he's never been the team guy.
Yeah, but he said like earlier in the movie that like we need to work together or something. Something along those lines.
Yeah, because he knows that Steve Rogers isn't going to go for it.
Yeah, well, he needs to talk to Steve Rogers because I
disagree with this. I don't think Steve Rogers should be in charge. I don't think Steve Rogers should really have anything to do with it, honestly. He's rapidly falling down my list of people I like in this series.
Oh, you're completely wrong. I still love Captain America.
Rapidly.
What'd you think of Chrissy Hemsworth?
He was good. He was a very minor character in this movie. He was only on screen for 14 minutes, turns out.
Yeah, very little Thor.
But he did a great job with the role he was given.
I did not realize how much this movie lends itself to Ragnarok.
Yeah, we see a lot more funny Thor and a lot less angry Thor.
Well, not even that. We also see a lot more Thor just creating lightning without the hammer, not using the hammer as much.
Right.
You know, seeing the end, like he sees Ragnarok in this movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and I think that's what they talk. Well, I mean, I'm not going to go there. Never mind.
Why? What?
Because I was just going to like spoil stuff out of Ragnarok, and then I remembered that we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, he doesn't have much of a part in this movie. He does take a little bit more initiative as a member of the Avengers. You know, he's because not only is he going on like standard missions with them, but he also is like making decisions and taking risks, and like his personality and his character makes an impact on the team as opposed to
in the Avengers 1 when he was just like the
muscle.
Yeah, he didn't really have a part on the team.
Right, he was the connection to Loki, but now he's
Loki wasn't even in this movie.
Team. I know. I thought that was crazy. I thought for sure he would make some sort of...
I remember him being in this movie. He's not in this movie.
No, not even a little bit.
He was supposed to be in this movie. They shot a scene with him, but they'd never used it.
Huh.
Yep.
The things you learn doing this podcast.
All right, moving on.
Mackie as Bruce Banner. Mark Ruffalo... It wasn't Marky Mark.
Yeah.
He is not in this series yet. Mark Ruffalo is Bruce Banner / Hulk. This also lends itself a lot to Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean, this is where you start to see, like... what people have begun to affectionately refer to as Baby Hulk.
What do you mean Baby Hulk?
That's what they've started calling what people in the know,
the Loop?
In the Loop have started referring to, I guess it's a Planet Hulk thing. I haven't read Planet Hulk, but I guess it's a Planet Hulk thing where like Hulk with a personality is Baby Hulk.
Huh.
Because he's like he's like a 3-year-old.
Right. But you see, yeah, they're doing the lullaby thing, and I think I retract some statements, man. I do. I did not realize this. I wasn't paying close enough attention when I was just watching these movies because I liked them. You know, I said when we watched The Incredible Hulk, I was like, that's not what the Hulk is. Liv Tyler can't just show up and calm him down. Yeah, you can. Yeah, they can.
So
Black Widow can just show up and calm him down.
Fun fact, in Avengers 1, we never see... Yep. We see we see Banner transform into Hulk frequently. We never see him transform back. In this movie, we never see him become Hulk. We only see him come back.
Huh.
Yep.
Weird.
Yep. So this movie does a lot for the Hulk storyline. It gives both of them more of a personality.
Yeah, it does.
And it starts to do that separation thing where like they are separate people and they are afraid of each other.
Yeah, because you not only that,
right? You know.
But,
sorry, go ahead.
Hulk doesn't like Scarlett Johansson.
Right. Well, Hulk also doesn't like Bruce Banner.
No. This is what it is. Yeah, Hulk doesn't like Bruce Banner, and he knows that Scarlett Johansson is what makes him go away.
What
he's starting to resist.
She's a threat.
Right.
Right.
But
right.
She's a threat that like the subconscious, the driver, the center of the Venn diagram, right? She has an impact on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. She's more than just the left half.
Right. Or the right, whatever. Yeah. So that's interesting. I think we're getting a lot of character development.
Yeah. So we're getting a lot of like, because obviously Bruce Banner doesn't want to become the Hulk, but like this is the first time we've seen that Hulk doesn't want to become Bruce Banner.
But he also is able to strategize the Hulk. You know, he has that line where he says, "I can't fight in a civilian area."
Right.
You know, like I will become Hulk and I will do Hulk things, but it needs to be on my terms. Right. You know, like you can tell he's that Ruffalo or that Banner is in control of where the Hulk appears.
Yeah, especially toward the end when he and Natasha have that scene and he's like, I'm not going to become Hulk. We're just going to get out of here. And she like kisses him and is like, that's great and everything. And then pushes him off the cliff.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah, but I need the big guy.
Right. That's wonderful, Bruce Banner. But you, the scientist, is going to be
no help
here.
You are useless.
Yeah, you are just a not very helpful guy. Did you see their love story coming? Did you?
No. Out of left field.
Completely out of left field. Completely out of left field. I also...
they were playing up...
I did not remember it.
Right. Well, they were playing up a Natasha and Barton thing.
But then we discover that Barton doesn't have a girlfriend.
Right.
Because he's married.
Right. And Natasha knows about it. Like, she's the only one that knows about it.
Yeah, she's in on it. Well, her and Fury.
Well, out of the, like, Avengers.
Right, her and Fury.
Fury's not an Avenger.
Sure.
I'm just like, okay, whatever. He's not... This movie could have lived without him.
Yeah, I kind of forgot he was in it, and I just watched it.
Hey, who's next?
Oh, so we're done on Hulk?
I mean, do you have anything else to say about Hulk? Because I'm not...
The old Capitan America. I actually... Listen, I love Capitan America, but in these movies, they give him a role that I think he doesn't need. So here's what they do. Is they say, okay, it's Avengers time. Captain America, super soldier, super strong, but what we're going to play up is his super leadership abilities. in combat. Like at the big battle, he's the guy that can call the shots and send everybody out to do their thing. And they did it in the first one, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And they did it in this one, and I was like, that's all he's done this whole movie. Except for the coolest scene in any Marvel movie up to date, when he rips a log in half.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
Well, but that was such a tease, though.
Oh, towards Civil War?
No, just in general. In like, I thought we were about to see Cap lose his cool.
Yeah.
And that's my problem.
No, like
that's my problem with Cap. This in all these movies is he's still Mr. Black and White. He's like too cool for comfort. Like he can't be rattled by anything.
Right. I thought it was interesting when they did the visions and they get to him and he chooses a happy or didn't choose, but he has like a happy vision of him dancing with Peggy Carter.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. That plays on the first Avenger, where they say this is going to amplify everything about you, right? And it's going to like suppress things that aren't about you. So like even your most horrifying memory is the dance with the girl you never got to dance with.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean, he does have that great line later on
smart.
about like take it from the, or not even later on, that was way before that, but the line about like take it from the foremost expert in the world on waiting too long.
Yeah. You can tell he still regrets it.
Right. And like, I get it. I understand they're playing up to this like love conquers all storyline, but it's played out, bro. Like it doesn't.
What movie did we just watch that was Love Conquers All? Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. But like, oh man, it's just not. I don't like it. I don't like this whole like Cap. All he regrets in his whole life is not asking out Peggy Carter because she was the woman of his dreams.
Well, he did ask her out.
Yeah, it's 75 years too late.
Well, no, he asked her out before he went into the ice while he was crashing the plane. He says,
okay, which may as well have been 75 years too late.
Well,
and she goes and marries someone else. What a harlot.
She
should have waited for him.
I would have thought he was dead. I would have thought he was dead. It wasn't like he flew the plane to the moon and lived there for 75 years.
Yeah. No, I'm honestly, and this is going to sound crappy of me, but I'm bored of Captain America. I'm bored of his shtick.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. 100% bored of his shtick. He's just so, like, he's so black and white. I'm Mr. Good Guy. There's nothing bad about me. You can't shake me. You can't rattle my cage. Like, it's not possible. I don't even have a cage. And like, nothing in these movies is that black and white. This whole movie is about how nothing's that black and white. The line between good and evil is being blurred more and more and more every single day.
I think pretty easily in the next Avengers movie, it's going to be, that's Thanos, and he has the Infinity Gauntlet, and he wants to kill everybody. That's going to be a pretty clear division.
I'm hoping it's not, though.
So you think you could watch that movie and you could be like, yeah, I agree with
No.
I
don't think you can agree with Thanos. But I think there's I think if there's a big bad villain that we're going to deal with here in the upcoming future that you can possibly identify with, I do believe it's going to be Thanos.
Oh, I disagree. It's Tony Stark in the next movie, in the next Captain America movie.
We'll see. But like,
because like you're worried about like lines being blurred and Cap can't see that, but that's the movie where he has to address that.
That was this movie though.
I disagree.
No, this movie.
Because this is where it starts. This is where that's starting to
right, and that's what I'm saying is like, but to Steve won't be rattled. He won't see it. Like to him,
well, he does see it because when Vision comes out, he like disagrees, and then he's convinced.
He's convinced because of the hammer thing.
That was pretty cool.
It was cool, but it's a cool scene. It's a cool thing that happened. It's a bad like permanent decision maker.
Yeah. I agree with you there.
That's my one problem with that. But Steve is just, he's not getting it that like Ultron wasn't designed to be a bad thing. If you believe what Steve believes, which Steve doesn't think Tony is a squirrel at this point. Like, you can think that. You, Tyler Carlin, can think that. Steve Rogers in this movie does not think that.
Well, no, I don't think that he does. But I think immediately he doesn't like Ultron because Ultron's like, oh yeah, I studied humanity and you're all evil.
No, but I mean, you're not supposed to like Ultron immediately. But like, Steve doesn't see Tony's motivation for it. He just sees that Tony's like trying to hide things from him and create evil.
Right.
He does the same thing when Vision comes around.
It's because he's always frustrated with not getting answers, and we saw that in his last movie was that, like, you know, the frustrating thing about freaking Nick Fury is that he's the only guy with all the answers, and you go on missions and Natasha has like another
But
role.
that's very inconsistent with Steve, though. That's very
I disagree.
No, because Steve is trained to take orders, not give them.
He's a captain. He's the leader of the Howling Commandos. I think you're wrong on this.
Yeah, but there's 25 people up the chain from him. Captain's not that high. It's not the Navy. They're not sailors. He's in the Army. Captain's not that high of a rank.
I don't know. He obviously takes orders, but he also does give orders. He gives orders to troops.
Yeah, but
he's at the battle.
Right, but the Avengers are not his troops.
Oh, yes, they
are.
No,
they're not.
According to the last movie and according to this movie, yes, they are.
No, they're not. Not anymore. Not after this.
I think you just hate Captain America for no reason.
I think
plenty
of reasons.
You're trying to make a case.
I'm not trying to make a case. I'm not trying to make a case at all. And we'll see what happens when Civil War comes around. But I'm not sold on the storyline. I'm not sold that he would just have these thoughts that he's never had before, because he's just typically followed blindly in whatever's going on. That was his thing in the Avengers 1, is that like he just followed Nick Fury. Yeah, he thought it stunk a little bit, but he was just like, we're soldiers. We do whatever Nick Fury says.
Right.
So I don't know. I just think this is inconsistent with Steve. That's all I'm saying. That's whatever. I'm not sold on Steve. I'm bored with Steve's storyline. And if we get something in the next couple of movies that come out after the ones that have already been made, then that rejuvenates Steve's storyline, then great. Awesome.
I don't know. I still think you just want to not like it. I really do, because I think like everything you're saying as a complaint happened at the end of Winter Soldier, where it was like, hey, I'm frustrated with Steve being like this order taker, and he listens to the people up the chain, or not being an order taker, whatever it is. But then like he finds out that the chain of command that he's been listening to is completely corrupt. So obviously you can see both sides of things, and he changes his opinion, and he goes from one side to the other.
But he doesn't change his opinion. That's the thing, is he never changes his opinion. He still will not give Tony a shot. Ever.
It's so funny that you're saying all of this, because you won't change your opinion on this.
Until he gives Tony a shot, then I won't. You're right. Because no matter what changes with Tony.
In Avengers 1, he's like, put on the suit, let's go a few rounds, and then it gets blown up and he's like, put on the suit, we need to save the
Yeah, but he's still Mr. Let's go a few rounds. He still wants to go those rounds with Tony. No matter what happens, no matter what they've been through, no matter how many like times Tony throws a nuke through a freaking wormhole, he's still just that guy that he doesn't trust because he's got money. Throws it around.
I don't think so. I think he trusts Tony in this movie.
I don't
think
see
he's
that
going
at
to
all.
stop trusting Tony with the superhero initiative act or whatever in the next movie in Civil War. But I can see why. Then he takes like a hardline stance on something.
Yeah, he takes a hardline stance the wrong way.
No, he's right. Just by the way.
We got 2 or 3 more
moving off
movies.
of Captain America. Moving off Captain America. Scarlett Johansson. A character I have never particularly cared about.
I loved her in this movie.
It's so good.
I love Natasha in this movie.
She acted well.
We've gotten better and better with Natasha every time she's come up.
Yeah, we really have. I mean, she was really good in Winter Soldier, and in this one, you know, we get that love story that I remember watching this the first time and being like, why is this even happening? You're trying to cram a lot of stuff into a movie that doesn't need a lot of stuff, but it does need a lot of stuff. This isn't like other movies that have a lead actor. This is a movie that literally every single name on this screen is a lead actor.
Yeah.
And the ones that aren't are Don Cheadle, Cobie Smulders, and Haley Atwell, and like Anthony Mackie.
Idris Elba. And
nope, he's not on this screen.
Well, he is in this movie.
He is in this movie, but he's not on the screen.
He's in this movie as much as Peggy Carter is.
Right. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there is a main character in Robert Downey Jr., and Chris Hemsworth, and Mark Ruffalo, and Chris Evans, and Scarlett Johansson, and Jeremy Renner, and James Spader, and Samuel Jackson. Or maybe not Samuel Jackson, but
for sure.
You know, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Paul Bettany, Cobie Smulders, not Cobie Smulders, but you know what I'm saying? There's like, this movie's allowed to have a lot of storylines because it has
10 to 15 people in this movie deserve their own movie.
Right. Like, it has a lot of important characters.
Like, no, I 100% agree. So like, Natasha Romanoff was bad in Iron Man 2. Just bad.
She had a hallway fight scene that
in
was
Iron Man
memorable.
2. It was cool. You know, Avengers number 1, she was good in Winter Soldier, great in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, she really is exceptional in this movie. She's got the relationship with Barton's family. She's got the relationship budding with Hulk. She kisses Hulk. She's got the lullaby thing, so now she's got like an extra purpose.
And we finally get some of her backstory, and she's shown that she can be this compassionate person, and like she gives a darn about Clint's family. And
sorry about that.
And if I remember correctly, she's great in Civil War too.
I don't remember correctly.
I think I remember enjoying her performance in Civil War, but I remember very little about that movie for some reason.
But yeah, overall, I was pleased with her. I thought that very well acted, very well. Even her like script wasn't bad. You know, there's no like I got red in my ledger kind of crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Joss Whedon really pulled his ish together for the script in this one.
Yeah,
the script in this movie, at least, especially some of the dialogue, is phenomenal.
That is what the script is the dialogue.
Yeah, I guess, okay, I was thinking the difference between script and screenplay, but...
Yeah, that's the dialogue.
Yeah, okay, so the dialogue in this movie, the person-to-person communication is phenomenal. Whatever else you say about the movie, there's a lot of... This movie is very, very quotable.
It is quotable, although I can't remember any quotes off the top of my head, if I'm totally honest with you. But we are now moving on to the star of the movie. The character that, like, you could have titled this movie, this character's name, Age of Ultron.
You talking about Hawkeye?
I'm talking about Hawkeye.
I texted you earlier, and I said this phrase that came out of nowhere in my mind that was just like, growing up is realizing that Hawkeye is the true hero.
Hawkeye is the true hero. Listen, I know my brother will never listen to this, but when he does, and he's going to listen to me say that Hawkeye is a great character in this movie, he's going to text me and he's going to say, Hawkeye is not a great character in this movie. Hawkeye is a stupid character, and the whole storyline of them going to his house is stupid. But no, it's not, okay? No, it's not. It is well done. He is like a cool character. He brings the team together. He takes them to this place. He is able to stop Scarlet Witch from like bewitching his mind because of continuity from Avengers, where Loki did it to him. This is it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, absolutely.
The story
absolutely.
is excellent.
Absolutely great. And we've seen, and every time I watched him in movies up till this time I was watching through the movies, I said the same thing. I was like, Clint Barton's stupid. Why is Clint Barton in this movie? Why does Hawkeye exist? He's useless. His superpower isn't that strong. Like, they did the Saturday Night Live sketch where he's like, yeah, I shot 11 people.
Yeah.
Which is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, by the way. One of the funniest things I've ever seen, where they're like, you took out 11 people. And he goes, yeah, I brought 11 arrows.
But and the other good thing I love about Clint Barton, and I'm going to say this and you're not going to like it, okay, is that Clint Barton does the family and superhero thing where he relocated his family, and he even shows this to Tony Stark, and this is what Tony Stark is missing, is that like he doesn't have a choice to himself. He has to be Hawkeye.
Yeah.
There is no other way.
Yeah.
There is no fighting it. It's just accepting
I'm
it.
not going to like that. I'm 100% agree with that. That was my next point I was going to make.
Is that like Tony Stark is having this internal struggle, like, oh my gosh, how am I going to deal with being Iron Man? What if things happen to Pepper, and all this crap? And it's like, listen, Tony, you just need to accept that this is your thing.
Right, but like
there is no option.
Pepper and Mrs. Hawkeye are also very different characters.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hawkeye over here being like wife of the year, being like, listen, Clint, I understand you got to go avenging, but like just come back and fix the hole in the floor. Thank you.
Yeah, finish with that. But yeah, no, I love Hawkeye in that sense. He's not a quitter. He's not going to give up.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's great though, and we've seen shades of this in the past few movies. Like he has consistently been the one that takes a step back and looks at things and sees things big picture and looks around and goes, hey, maybe we don't need to do this. Maybe we don't need to keep fighting each other, blowing each other up.
Right.
He's the smart one. He's the calculating one.
And he's the one with vision, Obviously that's his power. Now, do you want to go to the next hero, or I guess now we're at the villain? I mean, do you want to talk about James Spader, or do you want to wait until we do like our villain talk at the end?
Let's skip Ultron for now.
Okay.
Well, hang on.
Nick Fury makes
because I want to talk about not Ultron the villain. I want to talk about James Spader for a second.
Perfect. Dude,
love this guy. There's great performance in this.
You know what I love about Ultron, and this is what a lot of people hate about Ultron, is that he's like this computer. He's calculated. He's all of these things. What I love about him is that he's the internet, and he's seen cat videos on YouTube, and he's sarcastic, right. And he's almost like silly. He's like he would get all the top comments on Reddit. You know what I'm saying? He's got that perfect top comment on Reddit humor.
For sure. And I just I want to get my hat off to James Spader here. So I just thought he did the performance very, very well. He delivered every line very well. And he insisted, I did learn this early, he insisted on, because they were just going to have Andy Serkis do the motion capture for Ultron. Like,
that dude does
Andy Serkis was already on set. They were like, all right, let's just have him do it. Like, whatever. And James Spader was like, no, I'm doing it.
Really? So he was the one in the motion
So he was in the motion capture suit that had apparently 3-foot tall antenna coming off of it with red balls on it to simulate where Ultron's eyes would be. Because Ultron's 9 feet tall.
Yeah, Ultron was very tall.
So they had these balls up there to give them an idea of where to look, so they're not just staring at Ultron's man parts, which is about where James Spader's head would be.
I mean, how tall is he? 4.5 feet tall?
Okay, well, not quite, but James Spader's face is considerably lower than Ultron's face.
Right, instead of staring at his chest or whatever.
Right. And apparently the only person that had a problem with it was Elizabeth Olsen. Yeah,
really?
She couldn't get it right. She couldn't stop just looking at him in his actual eyes.
Huh.
And apparently they were just there's videos I watched earlier of whatever his name is, Aaron Johansson Taylor McPherson or
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
That guy. There's videos of him just yelling, "Lizzie, look at his balls." Because she just couldn't get it right, and they were never seen together. So anyway, James Spader, great as Ultron, delivered a perfectly sarcastic performance. Apparently he didn't alter his voice in any way to do it. He didn't affect a voice, put a voice on. He just talked.
Yeah, well, you can tell that.
No, I mean, for sure, but that's rare.
He's like Robert California, the villain.
Oh, God. I forgot about Robert California.
Oh, that's when I think James Spader, that's the character I go to.
from The Office.
Yeah.
No, there was
I
this
get
great-
that, like, he's got great roles outside of that.
Yeah.
He's at the Blacklist. Sam Jackson's in this movie.
I got nothing to say about Nick Fury. Like,
Nah, me
like what's
neither.
up, bro? You're back. Cool.
I got chills.
It was cool. He brought the helicarrier in. I was like, ooh, good scene.
Good scene.
Saves everybody.
Moving on, Don Cheadle. Excellent performance, as always. I love War Machine. I love him being in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I will say, right at the end, they're like, we've got the B-list new Avengers. Haha, War Machine and Vision and Scarlet Witch. And Captain America's going to be their
Beat
leader.
him into shape.
But then, like, the next movies they're still B-list Avengers. Like, all the normal Avengers is still there. There's Thor, there's the Hulk,
this is
there's
where
there's Iron
this
Man.
is where you get that thing that nobody wanted to leave.
Right,
Like
right.
they
where were
wrote
like, we've got
Iron Man out.
Right.
and
He was like, I think I'm going to hang
Robert
it
Downey
up.
Jr. was like, no.
I want to be Iron Man.
I want to be Iron Man.
And guess what? People want Iron Man.
Yeah.
So
like he wasn't even gonna be in Civil War originally.
that would have
They
been
had
a
to
mistake.
completely rewrite it for him.
So next we get to talk about the first death in all of Marvel hero-dom.
Yep, he can't come back from this.
No, he won't.
Yep, and that's Pietro Maximoff.
Quicksilver.
You keep saying Quicksilver.
Dead.
Like, why do you keep saying it like that?
Quicksilver?
Yeah,
I'm saying it normal. Quicksilver.
and that's not normal.
Pretty sure
It's
it is.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. You're doing this on purpose.
No, I don't know what you're talking
Oh my
about.
god. Anyway,
Pietro Maximoff. So I work with a guy in my day job his first name is Pietro, but he goes by Peter. So we're just going to call him Peter Maximoff because I like that better.
they're not allowed to call him Peter Maximoff.
Why?
Because that's what he was called in X-Men.
Oh, I'll have you know, the X-Men Quicksilver has that cool scene. I like him better.
I'm just saying you can't call him Peter because that's the X-Men guy.
Did you shed tears watching this movie, Ethan?
No,
I did.
I did not.
I shed a tear when Pietro
I mean,
Maximoff
I was
died.
sad for sure. That was like he had the really cool full circle thing where like the first line he hit Hawkeye and the first line he said was like didn't see that coming, and then like at the end he catches the bullets and is like didn't see that coming.
Yep.
And I was just like,
And he has that other line where Hawkeye shoots up through the ground, and Hawkeye says, "Bet you didn't see that coming."
Yep.
I saw that scene about 4 times because I watched the movie. Like that was where my pause point was.
Yeah.
Right, and then I started watching it again at work, and then I got like with a client or something, and then I restarted watching it at work. So I watched that scene a few times.
But no, that was great. He's good. I liked him. He did what he needed to do. He is like his sister's sidekick for as long as he needs to be. And he saves the kid.
I will say, when this movie is watched by my children, they're gonna be like, "Dad, what's with that dude's hair?" And I'm gonna tell them, even at that time, that dude's hair was lame.
Yeah, no, well, he looks like his hair's awful.
No, dude. He got Odell Beckham Jr.
He looks like he's in NSYNC.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's absolutely
horrendous.
terrible. I hated his costume too. I hated his costume.
Yeah, with like the track shirts.
Yeah, and like Adidas tennis shoes. I hated it.
Me
I
too.
thought it was so stupid.
Me too. I despise it. He's a cool character though. Acting was good. He had some good lines. I enjoyed him being
in
the movie.
Yeah, and I've noticed with a lot of these speedsters, so to speak, like the Flash in both the DC television show and the DC movie that just came out, which I haven't yet seen, but I've seen clips. There's always like lightning coming off of them. And then in X-Men, Quicksilver has like nothing coming off of him. He just runs fast, and that's the whole thing. In this movie, he's got like wavy lines.
So I like the effect here.
I think I like this one the best.
Do you know what they did?
No, I don't have.
So they record.
I'm gonna guess it's. I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
Before you tell me that it's long exposures and they gave him like flashlights or something.
So it is.
Okay.
They recorded it like super high speed of him running, and then recorded regular him running, and like just meshed them together.
That's it. That's the whole thing. Where do those like blue lines and stuff come from?
I don't know. That's all though. I mean, I'm sure there's some like special effect added to it, but
Well, that's the part I care about.
I'm just saying that's
Like-
how they get the.
Like the Flash always has like the lightning coming off of him. Is that like? Are you about that?
No, it looks dumb. But the Flash is also
It
like
looks
a
so
lightning
dumb.
character. He's
Yeah.
like that's his symbol.
Yeah, I guess.
But no, I liked it. I thought it was cool. It looked cool. It was a cool effect. Industrial Light and Magic did a great job with it.
Is that who did the special
That's
effects?
who does special effects.
That's them.
Yeah.
They do all
Mostly. Yeah. For like blockbusters.
of them.
Yeah.
Huh. What'd you think of the old Wanda Maximoff?
She's a great character. I mean, she really comes into her own here in a couple movies. She's got some power.
Does she wear a Ravager's jacket?
Sort of.
I mean, like could I draw that connection that she is wearing like a Ravager's coat?
I don't
like one of the Ravagers?
I don't think so.
You don't think
I mean,
so?
I can see where you're coming from, but I think it's just supposed to like, because she's Team Tony.
So she wears red.
Yeah, so like I think they're already starting that kind of thing.
I thought it was because she was called the Scarlet.
I mean, that too.
That's why
that
she wears
too,
red.
But like, I don't know.
But you know, he's called the Scarlet Star-Lord. It's very hard to say.
Yeah, no, neither her nor Quicksilver are named in the movie, but they do that a lot, like where they just don't name characters until like later on down the road.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. I don't know. Do they say Hawkeye?
Yeah, once in this movie,
Huh.
Laura,
You got
his wife calls him Hawkeye.
Huh.
Yep, she's the only one because she has that line that she's like, "I'll explain it when you're older, Hawkeye."
Aw.
When he doesn't understand what she's talking about with Natasha and Bruce.
Yeah, she's like they're bunking together,
Yeah,
right?
She goes, "What about Nat and Dr. Banner? How long has that been going on?" He's like, "What?" And she goes,
That's
"You're
so cool.
cute."
They call her Nat.
And he goes, "Nat and Banner?" She says, "I'll explain it when you're older, Hawkeye." But that is the only time he is called that in this movie.
But yeah, I like Scarlet Witch. I think she developed well. I think they could have put some more clothes on her for being like a kid.
Well, she's
you
not
know,
like a kid.
they're like children, aren't they? They're like younger than everybody else, and Hawkeye has to have that teaching moment. They're supposed to be
In
like
their 20s.
Yeah, I mean, they're not supposed to be like Spider-Man, but they're supposed to be like younger
Apparently-
and more naive than the rest of the team.
Okay, so Elizabeth Olsen was quoted in this movie as saying, "God, I'm glad they gave me some more clothes," like from the comic books. So I don't know what she looked like in Marvel Ultimates, but apparently Scarlet Witch like doesn't wear clothes.
But yeah, I thought, oh yeah, she wears like a crop top.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess I get what you're saying. I think she could have probably used some more clothing, but I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't think it was like lewd.
But I don't know. I still felt
She was
like
yeah, this
throughout-
outfit would have been weird.
Yeah, it definitely would have. But I felt like through most of the movie, it didn't bother me. Within like the last 10, like when he died to the end, I felt like they really were milking her. You know, if you know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
Anyway, Paul Bettany's in this movie.
I love
again,
Paul Bettany.
Reprising his role
love Paul Bettany.
as Jarvis. I love Paul Bettany.
So,
He's great. His wife plays Friday,
Yep.
which is cool.
if you didn't guess, I thoroughly read the IMDb trivia about this movie earlier. And there was one line in there that really confused me, and it was like, Paul Bettany was the only actor under consideration for Vision. I'm like, yeah, no crap.
Yeah,
Who
duh.
else? It would have been weird if
But
he popped out and was like Chris Rock.
With Paul Bettany's voice.
No, I mean, I would guess it would just be the regular voice. Like, he just wouldn't have the Jarvis voice anymore.
Oh, that'd
but
be
like,
stupid. That'd be
It
real
was
dumb.
like, Joss Whedon's only choice for the role of Vision was Paul Bettany. I'm like, yeah, he's an established character.
Good thing that Paul Bettany is isn't like a
Paul Bettany's a cool looking dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say here. Like he does, like if Jonah Hill was voicing Vision, up to
His
this point,
voice
wouldn't have a
is
problem.
one of the, like, Paul Bettany's one of those people that like he does not look like his voice to me.
I agree with that. He kind of looks like a
Like
a
yeah, that's what I'm
badass.
saying. Is like you would think that based on Paul Bettany's voice, because he's a voice actor for a lot of things, that you would think he's like some kind of jovial looking dude. But like he's a little bit scary looking in almost everything.
Do you want to know some fun facts about Paul
Sure.
Bettany? This is only one fun fact, but he's in the Han Solo movie.
I know it's in post production.
I'm looking at it right now.
I learned that earlier today because I was trying to figure out if he actually was the guy from the Da Vinci Code.
Alden Ehrenreich is playing Solo, just in case you're
I knew that.
curious.
I didn't know who that
don't
was.
is. He was in Hail
didn't know who
Caesar.
that was.
He was in Hail Caesar. Fun fact about Hail Caesar. That's one of those movies where if you think you're going to understand it, you're not going to have a good time.
Oh, I don't get Hail Caesar at all, but I love it.
Yeah, that's one of those.
It'll be the first movie
Put it
we
on-
cover on Bacon and Eggs Noir.
Put it on the fridge. It's a good one.
Yep. Paul Bettany, I loved him. Loved him as Vision. Loved him as Jarvis. I've loved him as Jarvis. For
Love
movies.
Vision?
I love Vision.
Yeah, we need to. So we're supposed to be talking about Vision, not Paul Bettany. So Vision, super cool character, just a cool guy,
Overpowered
You
a
know, like
little
he can OP just a little bit, but he does have an Infinity Stone in his forehead.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not going to end
You know
well.
that was. Yeah, I mean,
There's no chance of that ending well.
that dude's going to die.
Yep. One way or the other.
I mean, maybe they'll find a way to like let Vision continue living.
I
There's just as like a red human being
imagine-
without an Infinity Stone that can't fly.
Right. I imagine it's going to end with Thanos ripping it out of his face.
Yeah, or maybe begin with that.
Well, okay, I imagine that the Vision having the Infinity Stone in his face thing is pretty much going to end in the first 5 minutes of Infinity War.
Right, he's gonna like fly
With-
up and be like, "Oh, I'm Vision.
Thanos-
I'm by far the most powerful."
Well, within
and Thanos is gonna,
within
like,
5 minutes of Thanos being on Earth.
Right, it's gonna be like an expression of power that Thanos is just gonna grab.
Thanos
Vision
is
and
going to rip Vision's face off. I can see the scene in my head right now.
Yep, Mount Rushmore. Yep, that's where I had. That's where you pictured it.
No, I don't know
No,
where
me
I pictured
neither.
it.
Yeah, no, just nowhere.
Yeah, like
Virginia Tech's campus. Maybe.
almost like space for me.
I don't know. Probably New York.
I have no idea. But
Sokovia. No, not Sokovia. Wakanda.
Vision was cool. Vision was
super cool. He can lift the hammer. What'd you think of that? Did you get chills?
I did. That was tight. I brought that up earlier though. I think that was a really lame reason for everyone to trust him.
Yeah,
it's like they were.
Well, it's what he said, but that was like the icing on the cake.
Well, I mean, it was very clearly like everybody just kind of shrugged and walked away after that. They were like, "Yeah, okay, cool. He can lift the hammer, whatever. Whosoever is worthy may possess the hammer of Thor."
That's I think why they were like. I think that's why they did that was to remind us that Thor is like the most powerful Avenger, right? So at that point, it's like we can either side with Vision. Or we can
Vision and Thor would be a great battle.
I doubt it happens. I think Thor is pretty pro
I doubt it happens either, but like that would be cool.
Actually, new Thor could be anything.
Yeah.
Just like
still couldn't beat Doctor Strange.
Nobody
can beat Doctor because Doctor Strange can just do that thing where he'll just zap you somewhere else.
Yeah, well, he's gonna try that to Thanos, and it's not gonna work.
Or maybe it is. Maybe Stephen Strange comes back for the last 5 minutes of Infinity War and is like, "Are you guys serious? Come on now! I'm gonna do this.
He's gonna be in the whole.
I'm gonna
thing.
do this really bad American accent, and I'm going to attempt to zap Thanos into another dimension, and that's just how it ends."
Dormammu, I'm here to bargain.
Dormammu, I'm here to bargain.
No, he's gonna be in the whole thing, isn't he?
I don't know. I have no idea. If you have insider info on what the plot of Infinity War is, please at me.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not like going to show up at the end.
He's
might. He is in it.
He is in it. Everybody's going to be in it.
You know what else he's in? Oh man,
they are going to have to start killing people in a minute. Like for real, killing people. There's too many people.
You say that, but you remember Miss Manning from high school?
Yeah.
She had a poster in her classroom. What was that poster of?
No idea.
It was a poster of all the Marvel superheroes, and it just went on.
For sure, but they're not all in a movie together.
Well, duh, because the X-Men aren't there.
Right.
But
okay. Well, can you imagine if in sometime in the next year and a half that Sony and Marvel make up and all of a sudden they get rights to the X-Men?
That will not happen.
They're talking about it. They're talking about
it. You have to reboot. I mean, I guess they can, but they could reboot all the X-Men. Like, you can't have Charles Xavier played by anybody else. I'm sure
What
they will.
are you talking about?
They already did that, didn't they? Yeah, but they also had, what's-his-face, and Picard in there.
There was talks of... if they did another Iron Man movie, there's talks of them bringing Wolverine across to fight Iron Man.
Yeah, I think Wolverine would be the one they'd get.
Yeah, that was like straight up Hugh Jackman was like, I want to be Wolverine and fight Iron Man. And Kevin Feige was like, all right.
Maria Hill makes a new appearance. I want to retract my statement from last week. I will always take Nebula over Maria Hill. But honestly, a much better showing in this movie.
Yeah, no, Maria Hill wasn't that bad. She served a lot of purposes. She really had a tough go of it too, and I just want to say something real quick. I just want to brag on myself for a minute, okay? I don't normally do this. Okay. I'm not an arrogant person. Okay, I'm not an arrogant person. I'm not often right about things, but I fucking told you she was applying for the job at Stark Industries, and you're like, no, it's Agent 13. Nope, it was Maria Hill. Eat my shorts.
What's she do for Stark Industries?
She's working for Tony Stark. She works in Stark freaking Tower.
She does?
Yes. They fly the Quinjet into Stark Tower, and she's standing right there. She's just like, what's up? And later she makes comments about working for Tony.
Agent 13 was a stupid character.
Agreed.
Why did that even happen?
I have no idea. Not a clue. But anyway, Maria Hill works for Tony Stark, and I was right. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, she was a lot better in this movie than the last movie. And yeah, cool. You could stay Cobie Smulders. She's better than Nebula.
Well, okay. So Nebula is better than Maria Hill in her first appearance. But this is better than Nebula.
Nope, I disagree with that. This Nebula was worse than Maria Hill in her first appearance. Nebula sucked.
Anyway, before we get to the rest of the review... I have some
Tell me about your injustice
in America. So you know how I get my rock star energy at none other than 7-Eleven down the street from my office. Yeah. That 7-Eleven burned down yesterday.
What?
Yeah.
The one on...
Not even like in like a... Yeah, that one. It's on Main Street. But
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it wasn't even like a normal like, oh, the heater caught fire to some boxes. No, an ex-assistant manager went in there with 2 buckets of gasoline and lit the place on fire.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Somebody just burned it to the ground?
No, that is arson that happened like less than a quarter mile from where I sit all the time.
Nuts.
But it's a big freaking deal.
I mean, arson happens more often than you'd think.
Clearly. A disgruntled ex-employee went to a gas station. He could have blown that up and caused serious damage to the whole city.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Who burns down a 7-Eleven?
It's not just a 7-Eleven, it's a gas station too.
Oh, it's a lot harder to blow those up than you think.
I believe it, but still.
It's a lot harder to blow those up than Grand Theft Auto would have you think.
Yeah, that Grand Theft Auto just says drive near it.
It'll explode and blow your car up and you die.
Yep. You wake up in a hospital.
You will get pregnant and die.
Yep.
But
yeah, my 7-Eleven is gone, so no more 5 for 4. None.
I mean, there's
no
other 7-Elevens.
But yeah, so my 7-Eleven burned down.
That's unfortunate, man. No more taquitos for Tyler.
I don't know what I'm going to do. Honestly, I'm hoping that 7-Eleven comes in and builds a new building for the franchise. And that would just make me giddy.
I mean...
But it's Pilot Gas. I think it's
that's
Pilot
weird.
Gas Station. It's 7-Eleven
That's strange. But what I imagine will happen is the guy will probably just build a new one.
Anyway, this is what we need to do is review the movie.
I'll go ahead and give a skeleton synopsis and just pick up on things you want to talk about as we go.
Okay.
So we got a scene in Sokovia. Sokovia is finally introduced.
Sokovia and Wakanda are introduced in this movie.
Well, we actually go to Sokovia in this movie.
We go to
we
Wakanda
don't.
Also. We go to a ship right outside.
That is in
Wakanda.
South Africa. It is not in Wakanda because they talk about him getting out of Wakanda. He is out of Wakanda. That is it's in Cape Horn.
Is that
Cape
where that
Town?
Is?
Yeah. It's like a thing. There's this big salvage shipyard where they just park ships up on the beach and break them. It's a breaker yard. It's the biggest in the world.
You know what happens in this first scene in Sokovia?
Yeah. They find Loki's scepter.
Language.
Yep. The first word spoken by any Avenger in this movie is
and then the second line is language. Yeah.
And they come back to it. I thought they were just going to let it ride, and then Tony Stark comes back and goes, are we not going to talk about the fact that Steve just said language?
Yep. And then they talk about it throughout the rest of the movie. And then at the end, I think he says shit, right?
Yeah, and then Tasha goes, Steve, language.
Yeah. Good, funny.
Oh, it was great.
Continuous
joke.
I don't think it was as funny as Korg, but it was
Korg.
Fun.
Oh man, I love Korg.
Korg is great. Korg's so good.
I'm made of rock. Don't be intimidated. You have no reason to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you. This is my very good friend Meek. He's an M6 and has knives for hands.
The opening sequence in this movie, I think, is totally bad.
Oh, it's the last scene they filmed for the movie. Fun fact. And it's just super cool. There's that one great shot where it goes slow-mo and all of the Avengers are in the same frame, jumping over something.
They did a lot.
That was so cool. It was in snow, so we're all really well defined. I was like, oh, that's a cool shot. That's a poster right there. It was a very
cool shot. I know. They're trying to sell posters.
Posters.
Posters,
you
man.
Hoser.
Oh.
We get this whack villain with his Dragon Ball Z power scanner thing on.
Yeah,
he's in the movie for 5 minutes.
Who is Strucker?
He's the last Hydra guy.
So we're just done with Hydra now? I don't think so. Cut off one head to return.
Yeah, no, I think we're done with Hydra.
I don't think so.
I think we've moved on to a new big bad.
I think we have moved on to a new big bad, but you have to remember, if this goes on long enough, they'll have to start revisiting old villains.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. But for now, we're done with it's implied that we're done with Hydra. This is the last one. They talk about how they've been just murking bases left and right, taking them all out. This is the last one. This is the big one, the big score.
It's crazy. The last Hydra base is the one that the scepter's at. And I know what you're gonna say. It's there where the last place you looked. Well, of course it is. But the last one, period. They could have said there was 20 of them. They didn't find it on the 16th raid, and then there was just 3 more that I guess we'll send in the B-list Avengers on those.
That's absolutely what they did.
No, they said this was the last one. You just said Strucker was
the last guy. I know,
but
they definitely sent in the B-list Avengers to do most of them. Sam even talks about it. He's like, I'm happy chasing down cold leads. Avenging is your job.
Yeah. Sam. What a cool character. One thing I'll say about this is I said it seems like a really coordinated assault for a group that wasn't entirely a team. But I guess I was trying to look for faults right here because they're pretty coordinated.
By the time they say that, they are, because you don't find that out originally because it seems to take place 30 seconds after Winter Soldier because the mid-credit scene was the beginning of this movie.
Right.
But then they talk about we've done 30 of these missions, so they're probably pretty well versed in just taking down Hydra bases.
Yeah, and obviously they must be doing something because it's not like Thor would just hang out on Earth.
Oh my God. Hold on. There's one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie right at the beginning here. I forgot about it until I just read my notes. Okay, so when Tony goes in to finally gets into the base, after he blows up S.H.I.E.L.D. and everything, and he goes in and he finds that whole room full of people who have got guns on him, and he goes, stop guys, we gotta talk this through, and they start shooting at him, and he just kills everybody pretty much, and goes, that was a good talk, and the random guy from the background goes, no it wasn't.
Yeah, he's dying. There's a lot of murder from Tony Stark right here, just straight up killing people. I don't like it when they kill people. Like
I
when
don't
they
either.
just
I thought it
straight
was
up-
very off-brand for Tony.
Yeah, like he did it in Iron Man 1.
Right, but like,
so, like
it's very
I get that
off-brand
he's about
for
it.
PTSD Tony.
Yeah, to like walk into a room and just kill
Right,
all of them.
yeah.
But they were like, remember in Iron Man 1 where he targeted an entire like crowd of guys and killed the bad guys? Let's just do that again.
It was cool.
And I was cool with that.
But yeah, no, that just like that guy perking up and saying no, it wasn't right before he's about to die. This is where it started to get for me the shades of like this is in the post Guardians universe. This is more comedic relief from the main characters when it's needed.
Right.
Because then he does the secret door thing. He's like, please be a secret door, please be a secret door, and knocks on it. It's just like, yay,
it's a secret door. It's a secret door. What else did I like in this scene? There was a few moments. I don't know if it was this scene or if it was a little later on, but I keep in my notes. I have a lot of things that about this coordinated assault thing. So I like that in this movie. You remember when we were talking about Iron Man or about Avengers 1, and there was that great scene where Thor uses the lightning on Tony and it gives him like 400% power, and then like that was like the end of coordinated assaults, then not just like them all.
Cap and Hulk have this great thing going. Not Hulk. Cap and Thor have this great thing going on. Where Thor where Cap holds up the shield and Thor whacks it and just like destroys everybody. That was cool.
They're doing like they're doing like teamwork things,
cool.
which
Teamwork
I think
makes
is
the
really,
dream
really
work.
cool.
Because they did well, and I'm glad they didn't just introduce it and get rid of it because they did do it again later on.
Yeah, they do a bunch of stuff like that later on. I was all about it. I was all in.
Oh, speaking of Cap has a great scene too. Right after that thing I talked about with Tony Stark, where after Scarlet Witch hits him and he gets back up and like Strucker's in the middle of saying a line. He's like, "You're gonna have to be faster than," and Cap just like kicks the shield up into his face, like in the middle of a line. That was tight.
I don't think I remember.
Oh yeah, you gotta go watch it. It's like in the first 5 minutes. He's like in the middle of saying something snarky and being like, "You're gonna have to be faster than that to beat me," and then Cap just crushes him,
whoops him
straight up. But this is where we get introduced to Scarlet Witch's powers. We see that she is like getting in Tony's head.
Yes,
and
she gets in Tony's head twice, right?
Yes. No. Just the once.
Just the once.
Because
he's
gone at the beginning. Or not at the beginning. He's gone the second time. When she gets everybody.
Oh, you're right. He's fighting Ultron.
He's fighting Ultron above the South African city.
Yeah, so, and I think, what do you think the visions are? Is she showing them what they fear the most? Is she showing them what would happen if they had done something differently? I think that's what it is. Yeah. I think, and Tony is seeing, I think Tony's seeing what his great heroic moment was, and that because the Chitauri are there, right?
Yeah.
So he's seeing that like putting the nuke into the Chitauri was no. He's seeing that was the good thing. That's what should have happened.
I don't get that at all. Because they're all dead.
That was your heroic moment. If you didn't do that, this is what would have happened. And it's the same with Cap, because if Cap didn't crash it, he would have gotten his last dance. And if and that's what we don't know a lot about Black Widow's history, but Black Widow's history actually raises some questions for me. And I'm going to throw this one out there. Anybody who knows, let me know. She's like a trained murderer from some school of trained murderers. Are there other Black Widows out there that I don't know about that can do what she can do? Yeah. Really? It's just that easy? It's just that quick of an answer?
She's like the last in line, I guess. But yeah, we get Tony's vision. And we see him, all of his friends are dead. And I don't think I think she's showing him like a possible future.
See, that's what I thought at first too. And that plays with my theory that Tony's not who Tony says he is, because I think Tony's going to kill all of his friends.
Right, but that's why he builds Ultron, because he's afraid he's going to kill everybody.
But because the Chitauri are there, that's the reason that I think, and because of Captain's vision, right? Going back, seeing the end of the war, that if you'd done something just a little bit differently, this is what
I don't get where you're coming from, because like the Chitauri are he's seeing them still there. There's like though they're still possible.
No, I'm saying she's showing him what would have happened if he didn't throw the nuke in the hole.
That doesn't make any sense though. Like, what purpose does that serve?
That they would have all died.
But what purpose does that serve?
That his heroism was a good thing, but he doesn't see that. I don't think he knows what she's showing him. I think he just sees all of his friends are dead.
It seems like a future event.
You think it's a future
I definitely
event?
think it's a future event.
Interesting.
Because
how could it be a future event? Because Caps can't possibly be in the future.
What do you mean?
Captain America's. He's seeing himself dancing with Peggy.
I don't think she has to show everybody the same thing.
I guess not.
Because she's showing Tony a future. She's showing Cap a past that never happened. And she's just straight up showing Natasha her past.
Maybe. We don't know when she's showing Natasha. We don't know anything.
That's what the vibe I got from it. But he sees all of his friends dead. He sees a continued Chitauri invasion. And Cap, some really bad acting from Steve there. It's just like, you could have saved us.
Oh yeah, that was
really
stupid.
Bad acting there for
real
just a
campy.
second.
Yep. I saw that he has this vision where the Chitauri are still alive and flying around, and all of his friends are dead, okay? And Tony's worst memory, the turning point in his life, is when he throws a nuke into a portal. That is like the crux of his existence. So I'm saying he's seeing that moment played out differently, because that is the moment of his fear, where he goes from billionaire playboy philanthropist to billionaire scared to death. Okay. That's what I'm saying.
That's fine. I can get behind that.
And then I also want to talk about, we've talked about Natasha's background or vision. We've talked about Cap's vision. And the reason I think that is because of Captain America's vision, because he sees the turning point in his life, getting stuck in the ice. Had that gone differently, things could be different now. And she's using those to strike fear into their hearts, because they don't, like, it's almost like it's like you wake up when you're 27 years old late for an exam that you obviously don't have because you finished college 6 years ago. Does that make sense?
Or she's showing them the thing that they want most.
Ooh. Thor sees Ragnarok.
Does he? I don't know what Thor sees.
Thor sees himself not needing the hammers.
Yeah, we don't really... Thor's vision...
I think at this point, Ragnarok was going to be directed by somebody else. And that's why his vision's a little confusing.
Thor's vision happens primarily off screen, I think.
Yeah, but we see Heimdall with Hela there. Thor sees the future.
Well, and he knows about the Guardians at that point. He knows about Thanos.
Yeah.
So, like... That's what I'm saying is, but because he comes back and talks about it without ever really seeing, like, we don't see what Thor sees.
Right.
But so here, just let me play in your theory for a minute on your Tony's a villain thing. Is Tony wants everyone dead?
So does Natasha, apparently. Well, I guess Natasha wants to stop killing everybody.
So Steve, all he cares about is Peggy Carter. Clearly,
that's a little played out.
That's why I'm not taking that much stock in Steve's vision. But like, you're taking a lot of stock in Steve's vision, which is fine. But like, I wrote it off completely.
Oh, I don't think you can. I think because that one was the one that didn't make any sense to me. And I think it goes back to that great continuity of Steve will be amplified what Steve is, and Steve is good, so he will
and that's why great. I just wrote his vision off though. Is like, oh, he just gets to go like live out the thing that never happened to him. Like the war ends for him.
Well, like Steve is the only person in this group. I'm sorry, Tony's the only person in this group that has to deal with like the human emotions part of things, right? Because Natasha's background, we learn if this is any part of her life, that she is a trained cold-hearted killer and can turn emotions. She's not a normal person, right? And it's not like Tony is a normal person in the sense that he like goes to his day job and makes money and goes home, if that's what normal people are. He's a billionaire. He's not like your average person. But like Captain America is chemically different in the brain. Thor is a literal god. Black Widow has been programmed to be like cold-hearted.
So anyway, I long story short is the visions are a bone of contention here. I don't really know what any of them particularly mean.
I thought they
were cool, but I don't have the answer to that.
And the Chitauri might just be there because that's where he was standing.
Yeah.
When
it's entirely possible because there was like a big
Chitauri
star whale behind him.
Yeah, so I'm willing to accept
the thing is, we don't have any idea what Tony's vision means. We can't come to a consensus.
Right. So anyway, after that, we see the first of the lullaby, they're calling it. Yeah. You know what I'm referring to? I don't like that they call it a lullaby and then don't put any music to it.
Yeah. It's kind of
like there's like score to it. But there's not like
sun's going down, big guy. Sun's getting real low.
Yeah, that's kind of like the Red in My Ledger thing. That was the most.
Yeah, and I think they acknowledge the fact that was stupid because Thor says it over and over and over again in Ragnarok.
Yeah, he does. I thought that was hilarious.
So like I think that they looked back on it and they were like,
just Red in your Ledger, kid. Yeah. I thought for a second that Hulk was gonna say something, and I was gonna be like, well, we're idiots. We totally missed that. I will say I did not remember this movie even a little bit, even a minuscule amount. Did you remember this movie?
No, not at all.
Like this was, you know how Ebert, and I think I've talked about this in the podcast before. You know how Ebert would always talk about the greatest joy of life would be to go back and watch my favorite movie again for the first time. This was kind of like that experience.
I've had that experience a lot of times with watching these movies again for this podcast.
But it's like this, like you get to experience all that joy and all that fun that came from it, and like seeing the movies that have come before it, like we've been talking about, adds a lot to it. And then also just knowing what's coming and
placing this within the series.
Right, and instead of it taking away from it,
it adds so much. It adds so much. Like the fact that this is part of the series now, because this movie kind of came out on a limb when it was out, in that like there was a lot of stuff that they were just kind of like, okay, this is kind of weird. Trust us.
You said they went out on a limb here?
Yeah, with this movie, in that, like, there was a lot of stuff that ties in later on down the road, especially in, like, the new Thor movie and the new Captain America movie, and stuff that is brought back into play later, and they're just kind of saying, like, you got to trust us, this is going to be cool later. And I look back at it now, and I'm like, this is cool.
This is cool. It's very cool. It was really good.
It was.
Like, I really liked it, you know? And we haven't even started talking about Spader. Where are we?
So we get back to New York. We're in Stark Tower. There's a new Stark Tower. It's like Avengers Tower now.
Yeah, it's got big A
Maria
on it.
Hill's working for them. She has that great line where she's trying to explain the twins to Cap, and we have the classic, like, Cap doesn't have any idea what anybody's talking about, and she's like explaining the powers, and Cap looks like he has no idea what's going on. She goes, "He's fast and she's weird." Cap's like, "Okay, I can understand that."
Sounds good.
So Tony and Banner find out that the Infinity Stone is actually like a brain. It can think.
It works like a human brain.
Because we find out later it's the Mind Stone, but it can think, and that makes sense because they've been able to control people's minds with it in the past. It's yellow. We find out later, I guess not right now, but later. But it's in like a blue thing. I thought that was kind of weird.
It's the casing.
Yeah, I know. But all the other Infinity Stones have a properly colored casing. The Ether has a red casing. The Tesseract has a blue casing, and then the purple one, whatever it's called, is like a weird purple thingy.
I don't think the Ether. Did you notice whenever whoever talks about the Infinity Stones shows up on screen, they show all of them and the Ether is there? I was very excited about that. The Tesseract, like, I think when they do that, they're not all shaped like the Mind Stone. They're shaped like the Tesseract is a blue
and it shows
cube.
them all. It shows them breaking open though, and there's a purple gem, a blue gem, a red gem, and a yellow gem. It going into the shape of the Infinity Gauntlet, and there's two like open spaces. So and Thor says later on that 4 have awoken. Yeah,
recently. Yep, in like the past however many years.
So anyway, they discover that the Infinity Stone can think. It is basically an AI unit, and they use it to create an AI unit. They're like, this could be the key to creating Ultron, and they just do that for 3 days and get nothing done.
And then the Jarvis is like, "I'll keep running it, sir, while you go have fun at your party."
Ultron, it eventually figures itself out.
Yep.
Because
and
they say later on, they're like, "We weren't even close."
Yeah.
Banner and Tony are talking, and Tony was like, "We weren't even close to a breakthrough."
And they only had the scepter for a few days.
Right, and so then they go to the party, and Ultron figures himself out.
But while it's happening, the party's happening.
Oh, it's a great scene. It's a great scene. Steve has his line about like. Sam's like, "So you're going to move back to Brooklyn?" And he's like, "I can't afford a place in Brooklyn."
Yeah, I thought that was funny. I also think Captain America would have some brand deals, dude. Hit that Instagram game.
No, Steve wouldn't do that, though.
You'd be fine.
Steve would not do that.
Oh, no, he definitely wouldn't, but he could.
Yeah, we have this great scene where they're all trying to lift the hammer. Because Hawkeye's sitting there, and he's drunk, and he's just like, "Yeah, so whoever's he be worthy shall possess the power." It's a trick, man. Come on. And Thor's like, "It's not a trick." And Tony's like thinking there's some scientific reason he can't lift it. Whatever, so they all try to lift it, and Clint goes to lift it up, and Tony goes, "Clint, you've had a long week. We won't judge you if you can't get it up." And I laughed out loud. Tony's got some zingers in this movie.
There's a few of those jokes in here.
Yep. And then so Barton can't lift it. Tony can't lift it by himself. He's like, "I'm going to reinstate Prima Nocta when I become ruler of Asgard," and then he can't lift it at all. And it cuts to the scene that like him and Rhodey both have the gloves on, trying to lift it. Like, "Are you even trying?"
He's like, "Are you?" Right.
And then
That's good stuff.
Steve moves it.
Steve
and
moves
you can see
it,
Thor
and Thor's like, "Oh
goodness. Oh
goodness. I'm
Oh
Odin's
god,
son."
and then we get the creepiest scene ever.
What
when
happens
Ultron
here?
first
Tell me
shows up, it's terrifying. Oh
Yeah,
man,
Ultron's
he
in,
just
like,
goes,
the busted Iron Man
"Worthy?
armor.
How could you be worthy?" And it's just this like mangled robot body dripping oil and stuff. Ooh, it's nightmare fuel right there.
Bad look.
And he's just
I probably won't have nightmares
he's
about it though.
he's going on and on and on. You want to protect the world, you don't want to change it. And he hears the peace in our timeline that Tony says, and decides that peace in our time means the Avengers must die. Says there's only one path to peace: the Avengers' extinction. And then all of the Legionnaire suits roar out of the wall. Oh, terrifying.
Bad look.
Terrifying. And he starts singing the song from Pinocchio. Yeah, I had strings, but now I'm free. It's a song Pinocchio sings when he becomes a real boy. Oh, God.
I'll tell you, they have a hard time blowing these things up.
The Legionnaire suits? Yeah, Thor should be able to wreck them.
Yeah, this shouldn't be a challenge. You should just
Especially since Cap throws a suit through, or not a suit, throws his shield like through one of them. It completely cuts it in half. But
Cap,
like Mjolnir can't cut it in half. Are you kidding me?
How does that shield thing work?
What do you
like mean? He can just call it back now?
Oh yeah, there's a
part in the movie where he
presses
calls it
the
back.
Button. It's magnetic to his arm.
What about all other metal?
Okay, it's a special magnet that only attracts vibranium. I don't know.
There's a lot of vibranium in this movie.
Okay, whatever.
A lot of
This is
vibranium.
the wrong thing to focus on. They just wanted,
saying,
a
how
cool
does it
scene
work?
where Steve presses his arm and the shield zooms back to him.
Zoop. It is cool. It's very cool.
And Ultron uses the internet as an escape hatch.
Which is dangerous.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous.
What do they say about the dark side of the internet? That like that's 95% of it,
Yeah.
and we only ever scratch the surface.
We only use like 10% of our internet, bro. Like only enlightened.
Right. I think there's a
people
Scarlett
use
Johansson movie
the
about
real internet. It's called Lucy. It was freaking terrible.
I disagree. It was I.
But back to Ultron. He is capable of rage.
Yeah, Ultron is not just a robot that is an AI
think.
that like thinks and does. Ultron
and
is
feel.
like he's got emotions. He could cry. You could draw tears out of him.
And he builds himself a whole new body and goes and sits on a throne in Sokovia.
And the church in the center of town. There's a fun song about the church in the center of town, but it's not like this.
Nope.
It's not like
this is not fun.
It's more of like a show.
This is not fun at all.
Yeah, this is scary.
And so we get a backstory on the Maximoffs, and they're like, oh man, our village got destroyed by a Stark Industries bomb. Tony Stark was coming to kill us. And my whole thought the whole time was just like, are we back to this Iron Man 1 freaking 10 rings crap again?
Yeah, not only that, but they were like, our house was hit by a bomb, and on the side of it was one word.
Nobody
Stark.
know how freaking manufacturing works?
Do you not know that there's 2 words on the side of a Stark Industries
Stark
bomb?
Industries.
Yeah. I thought that was a weak story for them to be like, we hate Tony Stark. Yeah, like, did you listen to this man's plan
Iron
for
Man
5 seconds?
Was the Ivan Vanko thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I hate Tony Stark because Tony Stark is murderer. Because he builds... Like, oh my god. None of you people know how freaking manufacturing works.
None of these people know how Tony Stark is like doing this whole Iron Man thing because he like regrets that part of his life.
Oh my god. And then Ultron goes, I wondered why you two were the only ones that survived Strucker's experiments. He's implying they have something to live for.
I don't think that is what they're implying. But I think it's because they're also just significantly more powerful and they didn't get the rights to any more X-Men.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely true. They can't even call them mutants. They have to be the Enhanced.
Right, the Enhanced. If you ever watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I do believe that's a normal title for the Enhanced.
Because they can't use mutant.
Right.
So we get to South Africa, or somewhere in Africa, that is not Wakanda.
That's in... Well, they talk about
they
Wakanda.
do. That's where he got his vibranium from. Because as soon as they...
And they say that they got the rest of it.
As soon as they say vibranium, or Wakanda... Steve and Cap just look at each other, and Steve's like, I thought your dad got the rest of it. And he's like, so did I. And everybody else is just like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And they just look at the shield.
On the
really weak scene.
On the top, I thought it was good. On the topic of that, somebody asked us, why doesn't Tony make a suit out of vibranium? And at first I was like, yeah, I don't know. But then I was like, well, because 1, he didn't know there was more vibranium, and 2, Ultron used it all. Yep, that's what happened.
Like the vibranium, the fact that it was a strong metal wasn't the purpose of it. He says like it's the most versatile element in the universe, and they use it to build a frisbee. So he builds it because it can bond with bionic tissue, not bionic, biological tissue. Like Tony has no need for that in an Iron Man suit.
Right.
No need. Also, Tony's.
I mean, I'm sure it would be useful. I'm sure it wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, for sure.
But up to this point, for sure. Like somebody asked why in this movie.
Also, Tony's suits are supposed to be made out of adamantium. Well, I know they can't, but like that's the reason.
Is that supposed to be stronger than vibranium?
It's like they're like supposed to be. They're different. They have different purposes.
Gotcha.
Like adamantium's really heavy.
Is vibranium not?
Vibranium's not very heavy.
These mythical metals are just
it's not unobtainium though. That's from Avatar.
I know, but I did mention it.
Sorry, go ahead.
That dude, the South African dude on the freighter, is he like the coolest looking dude
in
any
Andy
of
Serkis.
these movies?
That's Andy Serkis.
You're absolutely right. That's Andy Serkis. He looks very cool.
He looks very cool in literally everything he does. But I think this is probably the most, with the exception of The Prestige, this is probably the most normal I think he's ever looked.
Who's he in The Prestige?
He's Nikola Tesla. No, he's not. He's
nope.
His assistant, Tesla's assistant. Yep.
You're right.
Had him backwards. Right. David Bowie is Nikola Tesla. R.I.P. Oh my god. And Ultron is coming out with the great quotes every single time. He picks up the vibranium and goes, upon this rock, I will build my church.
Yeah, I thought that was genius because it's
I got chills at that moment.
Yeah, because he's already made the line about the church in the center of the city, which he thought was cool.
Right.
And then, I thought that was very, very cool. I will say, we're going to jump all the way ahead real quick. When he lifts the city off the ground, why is it not the city limits that he goes out to. Like did you notice when he picks
He just
it
needs
up?
a rock of a specific size.
Right.
It's
I
his
get that,
meteor.
Yeah. He likes
Yeah,
the meteor. He's always making that reference
I didn't catch
to,
that when I saw this movie the first time. I was literally sitting there like, why is he lifting the city? What is it happening? And I realized he's going to drop it like a meteor. Yep. So I got that this time. But a lot of great lines in this part of the movie. Which one of them says no one has to break anything? Steve? Is it Steve that says nobody has to break anything? And Ultron goes, you've clearly never made an omelet. And Tony goes, he beat me by 1 second.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And I love that. I absolutely love that because, the Bacon and Eggs podcast.
Yep.
That's us.
Never made an omelet.
Well, Ultron's doing it for the brand,
And for the first time ever, we get a villain that doesn't monologue. That specifically does not monologue. Because Tony asks, what's the vibranium for? And he goes, I'm so glad you asked me that because I wanted to take this time to explain my evil plan, and just shoots Tony.
Yeah, he does shoot Tony right there.
So, he does not start monologue. He monologues later. He monologues plenty. But in this moment, he's like, I'm not going to do that.
He has a ton of acting. He does a lot of voice throughout this whole thing. A lot of voice. Where, anytime, James Spader was like, anytime I can say something, let me say something. And, okay, moving on. Rolling through.
And this is where we get all of the visions. This is where all the visions happen?
I don't think so.
Yes.
Really? Oh, this is all the other visions.
This is where Natasha has her vision of being in the weird ballet dancer thing, learning to be a fighter. This is where Steve flashes back to the My Chemical Romance, The Ghost of You video, and, all that stuff. That's all that happens. We're not going to go back to that.
And Thor has his Ragnarok vision where he doesn't need the hammer and he's...
No, him not needing the hammer comes later because he goes back to the vision because him and Selvig go to the Will of Souls or whatever. And
yeah. I totally forgot about that. That was one of those things that just totally rolled over my head.
So then we get this huge Iron Man Hulk fight scene throughout this entire city, and they bust out Veronica.
The Hulkbuster armor.
Never mentioned.
This is where I never mentioned as the Hulkbuster armor. They did talk about Veronica earlier.
They talk about Veronica a lot. They talk about Veronica in this scene.
I know. But this was the first. People always talk about the Hulkbuster armor, and they're like, the reason he doesn't use it all the time is because it's big and clunky and slow. No, it's not. It is big and fast.
It does use 9 arc reactors.
Is that what's going on here?
9 arc reactors.
Does it say that somewhere?
No, that was in the trivia. Which I get if you looked closely, you can see them because I looked at pictures. There's 1 in the chest, 1 in each knee, 2 on the back of his calves, 4 on his back, and 1 from the main suit. Yep.
Huh.
So every piece has its own arc reactor, basically.
I love that he's like, Veronica, give me a hand, and he gets another hand.
Yep.
I thought that was cool. He's got like Hulk is gonna tear this thing apart, so we're just gonna keep rebuilding it as we go.
Do you know why it's called Veronica?
I'm gonna guess it's like not an anagram, but like a what's that called?
I don't know what you're saying. Like an acronym?
Like
it is not an acronym.
That's what I meant.
It literally is meaningless to the actual series. It is just a joke. That Joss Whedon made because in the old Archie comics, the 2 girls that Archie was like in love with were Veronica and Betty, and they were polar opposites of each other. And Bruce Banner used to be in love with a girl named Betty, so this is Veronica.
I got you there. Gotcha. So that's why it's the Hulkbuster.
Yep.
It's sweet,
it is cool.
Though.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep.
You know what really would have come in handy while they were fighting Ultron? What? Some nice Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing though. It's like you introduce all these cool things and just never use them again. You know what else would have been super useful? A lot of times in Guardians of the Galaxy was Peter's super cool, like, look at the past thing.
Look at the past thing. Or his super cool magnet thing, which he does use a few
Or like,
times,
at the beginning, when Hulk can, or not Hulk, I keep saying Hulk. When Thor can charge up Iron Man's suit and make him super powerful. That would be useful.
Or in Iron Man 3 when he's got all those different suits. Listen, I get why he throws them away and trashes them, but some of those would have come in handy.
Yep.
Or Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon would probably been useful too.
Just at any point, really.
So Maria tells him to lay low, and lay low to them means let's go visit Clint Barton's family.
Super great. I love it. I love Clint Barton. He's a family man.
Yeah.
He's flying the ship because he doesn't have the mind control happen
to him.
Right,
and he knows where to go too. He doesn't.
And he knows where to
really
go.
want to tell people where to go.
Tony's like, right. He doesn't. Yeah, didn't tell anybody where they're going. And super, just great.
Yep,
I love it.
A lot of great scenes.
This movie asks you to go all in on Clint Barton being like a family man, and you can either say no or you can go all in and you can fall in love with it. It's up to you.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm all in on it, 100%.
All in.
Although during this thing we do have that weird encounter with Natasha and Bruce Banner where they're like, "Oh, we should have taken a shower together."
Yeah, no, you shouldn't have. What? I've seen I've seen The Incredible Hulk 1. That's super racy. 2, if this man's heartbeat goes over 200,
that's not a thing anymore.
He'll die. Oh,
Yeah, he doesn't want to watch anymore.
Yeah, but what?
Yeah, but he can like control himself now.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's what we saw at the end of the Incredible Hulk when his eyes open up and they're green. Like he can control the Hulk now. He decides when he becomes Hulk.
Right. And now they're working on him controlling when he comes out of it.
But yeah, we get that really weird.
And it's about to go real south.
That really weird scene. And she says he says it tells Natasha that you're being too hard on yourself, and she goes, I was hoping that was your job. And I was just like, ugh. Bad timing.
Yeah, super.
And then she's like, I can't have kids.
Yeah.
That was my
they were like,
my
let's run away
graduation
together.
ceremony.
And she's like, I can't have kids.
But like, Banner, you don't need to leave. You're fine. You can obviously control yourself. Calm down. He's being such a little whiny butt. Yeah.
Whiny butt?
I'm keeping it family friendly. Language.
Keep it family friendly. This whole movie needs to be a little bit more family friendly. But then we got Tony and Cap arguing each other while they're chopping wood.
With the line of the century here, and just like crushes any kind of justification Tony could have had, whether he's right or not. Any kind of justification Tony could have had. Cap was like, it doesn't matter to me, because he goes, every time someone tries to end a war before it starts, innocent people die. And Tony's just like, oh.
Right. It's like Captain America has such a deeper understanding of war than Tony does, because it's like the soldier versus the arms dealer. You know what I'm saying? Which is exactly what it is here. And then he rips a log in half.
And I really thought we were going to see Steve lose it for a second. I was so excited.
No, I didn't think he was going to lose it. I think he was going to rip a log in half, and it was going to be awesome. And then Mama Barton comes out, and she's like, our tractor's broken, Tony. And I was like, yeah, that's not real. Like, immediately, I was like, nope, that's not what's wrong here.
But Tony was all in on it. He was just like, okay, I could go fix the tractor. He's like, it's like sweet talking the tractor. Goes, tell me everything. Show me what's wrong, baby.
Tell me everything. Yeah.
But I mean, he's the mechanic. So
and then we
Nick
get
Fury with his
arboreal.
Nick Fury wearing like a sweater and a carbon fiber eye patch.
Yeah, the old Colonel. Really only in this scene so that he can show up later in the movie and it's not questionable. But honestly, I think that he could have not been in this scene and shown up later in the movie, and you would have been like, oh man, the Colonel's back. 12 blend herbs and spices.
Yep. So Thor goes after Eric Selvig because he needs advice.
Eric Selvig, who apparently knows more about Norse mythology than Thor does.
Yeah. Well, okay. I think Eric Selvig knows where the Well of Souls is or whatever. I can't remember what. Water of Sight. Sure. That's what it is. Well of Souls is from Indiana Jones, but I couldn't remember what they call it.
Sure. Whatever. I'll take it. Whatever. And then we get some real Ragnarok
stuff. Yeah, Thor goes back into the water and he's like, any man who goes into that water doesn't make it back out alive. And Thor's like, I am no man. He does the whole lightning thing, and it was really cool. And
it's the first time
Idris Elba's all whacked out with the eyes gone. He's like, I can see everything, Thor.
Things are not going well for Idris right now. For Heimdall, things are looking bad in Kansas.
He knows the 4 Infinity Stones they know about at that point.
Yep, the Infinity Stones are being gathered. Collector is a bad guy. All that jazz.
And then we cut back to the twins and Ultron. And the twins, for the first time, see that Ultron wants to destroy the world, because Ultron says the human race will have every opportunity to improve. And Pietro goes, what if they don't? And he says, ask Noah.
You know, this Ultron guy really took a few pages out of that Bible.
Because his next thing he says, every time the Earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it. Talking about I love meteors. He loves those meteors.
Meteors are very cool to him. He loves how pure they are.
So we get a big chase scene through the city. They go pick up the truck. And apparently that scene where the two robots go to pick up the truck took one dude an entire year to animate. Yep.
Huh.
Yep. It was one person's job, and he spent an entire year on it. No idea.
What's his name? Was he playing Galaga?
Probably.
Was that the reason it took so long? I know if they told me, they were like, you have 1 year to animate this, I would probably spend 9 months of that year playing Galaga.
Yep. But the long story short, big fight scene, a lot of things happen, and the Avengers get away with the cradle, but not with Romanoff.
Yeah, she just kind of disappears. I guess I looked away from the screen when this happens, but she's just gone now. I don't know where she went.
They do the thing where they've got the Ultron had the cradle in the Quinjet, and they have to drop it into the other Quinjet or something like that. They have to drop it into the helicarrier or something like that. I don't know. They have to drop it into something. I can't remember.
No, it's in a truck.
Oh yeah, the truck thing is flying away. That's it. It needs to go in the Quinjet. Yeah. So they get it in there, and then Ultron grabs Natasha. Like, as she's dropping it in there, he grabs her out of the air and flies off.
Gotcha. So they've
got the cradle with the body in it.
The Vision body. Let's just address real quick. We got Miss Cho throughout this movie. She's got the super magical regenerative future of medicine thing going on, and that's what they're trying to apply to like the save humanity and get rid of the Iron Man suits, right? And that's what made this. Just wanted to throw that detail in real quick. Moving on.
So they've got the body back at Avengers HQ here in New York, and we find out they have Jarvis still.
Jarvis is alive. He's the one that's
he's
been protecting the nuclear launch code.
This is what I was talking about earlier.
They wrote themselves out of a corner with that one. Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Because otherwise, Ultron could have just destroyed the entire world within seconds.
Yeah,
like,
he could
immediately.
Have been like,
just the movie would have lasted 5 minutes after Ultron got alive. Just done.
Yep. There are nuclear bombs.
So they are
everywhere.
fighting over whether or not to awaken the Vision. Like Tony and Banner are on the side of yay, and Steve is on the side of nay, and then Thor's just like, we're settling this, and just Frankenstein's this thing awake.
Works real well. I will say this. During this scene, the twins are doing their little thing, and then Hulk says to the girl, he says, I could choke you to death right now without ever changing a shade. That is pure hatred. That man has a vendetta against this woman, and he hates what she did to him for making him Hulk out and destroy parts of the city.
Mad.
He hates her.
For Bruce Banner to get mad like that. For Bruce Banner, not the Hulk, to threaten somebody.
Oh my gosh. That was insane. I was shaking in my boots, and then I was like, "Well, Mark Ruffalo, you're an activist. I'm not too worried." But still, I was scared.
So they get the Vision awake, and Thor's all about it because he's like, the Mind Stone will protect him. Because I think Thor kind of gets what's going on here. Is like he understands it's a Mind Stone now, and Ultron got all the bad from the Mind Stone.
I don't know that necessarily Ultron got all the bad, but Ultron didn't get the perspective that the AI that Jarvis brings to
it. He certainly didn't get the good.
Well, the Mind Stone is like pure intelligence, like platonic pure intelligence, and as long as there is imperfections, it's never going to be happy.
I mean,
I just dropped some.
You can drop some philosophy.
Not appreciate.
I mean, I do appreciate it, but like I'm just quoting Joss Whedon. But
okay, it's not about artistic intent. It's about.
I mean, that's fine.
Reception.
You can do the color here, but I'm giving you the play-by-play. So yes, you're right. There, as long as there are imperfections, then it'll never be happy. You're correct. But according to Joss Whedon, Ultron got the bad and Vision got the good because he can pick up the hammer. So he is worthy.
Pick up the hammer. He is worthy. He is either worthy or he is not a thing, like not a being.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point because they say the thing about the elevator's not worthy. But
right.
No, I think that they're definitely saying that Vision is worthy because he could pick up the because he is a thing because Wanda can read his mind.
That's true. He is a being. He has a mind.
Yeah. So she can read his mind. And everybody's sold, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go to Sokovia and do the thing. And then Pietro gets his turn to really shine here in this scene where he runs into the police station, basically shouts, everybody needs to get out of the city, like help, and runs back out, and they don't even notice him. And then like 10 really awkward seconds pass, and he comes back with the gun
and just
shoots it in the air because he's like, okay, this will work. And I had to this is one of those situations where I had to pause the movie to laugh.
I thought that was funny. Right before that, Cap gives them 3 minutes to get ready to go, which like I'm sure would be fine for a lot of them. But like Barton opens up his little collection of weapons. It would take you more than 3 minutes to pick these out. Okay, but I will say this about Barton in this movie, and there's always a weakness that they can address whenever there's an archer in any sort of superhero film, or like a dead shot or whatever it is, in that they can have them run out of ammo, and they just like did not even address it this time. They were like, nope, Hawkeye gets unlimited ammo, and I would rather them do that
because it's just there's some stuff you just need to let go.
Yeah. And one thing that I thought they should have let go right here was how much time needed to be spent saving civilians. I get it. They're heroes. That's important. But what's more important than saving the civilians of Sokovia is saving the rest of the planet.
Captain America. Half the freaking problem I have with him.
I know.
His inability to see the big picture.
Well, he needs to fight the battle he's in right now. That's exactly
right. But he would rather he's cutting his face off to spite his nose. Like he's sitting there like, I don't care what happens to the rest of the world as long as these people don't die, which is just not. Right. And I get it. Like everybody can be saved because Nick Fury and like. That's the thing I hate about Nick Fury in this movie is they wrote him in specifically to give Cap this out to be Mr. to not have to make a hard choice.
And a lot of times in this final scene, they keep talking about like, we might all die right here. This might be it for everybody. And then like when they formulate the plan, they're still like, we might all die right here. Who knows? And then they don't. None of them do. None of them die, except for Quicksilver, who dies because Ultron shot like 50
and he caught all the bullets meant for that kid and Hawkeye. And like,
and he pushes them out of the way.
Before this, they started raising the city, and I just literally out loud, I just sit there and was like, "This is gonna be one of those moments."
Catch a ride.
Oh man. So they.
That's
a lot of things happen real quick right here. They burn Ultron out of the internet, so he can't get out.
Yep.
He makes his line about like when I'm done here, the only living thing in this world will be metal.
I didn't catch that.
Only
like
living
that,
thing in this world will be metal because
he's
decided that he's like his people are superior.
Right, his Ultron society will be the best because he is the perfect plutonic.
Right. And I mean, Ultron's putting up a tough fight here.
I mean, is he?
Because like all he needs, his mission is very easy. All he needs to do is get it up to a certain height and turn a thing and drop it. Yep. And they have to stop him from doing that. Only there's like thousands of copies of him.
Yeah, there's tons of him just everywhere. PA systeming their way through this whole conversation.
No, that freaks Scarlet Witch out, especially like right at the beginning, even before her brother dies. And Barton has to just put him in her place and gives her that.
Yeah, he's like, listen, you don't have to do this. You can even leave. I can find your brother and tell him to come get you. Yeah. And you all can flying. Leave.
We're fighting a bunch of robots. I have a bow and arrow. Nothing makes sense. Nobody belongs anywhere.
Nobody belongs anywhere. Nobody has to be born. Everyone's gonna die.
Oh man, and there's a really cool scene that Thor and Cap do the thing again where like Thor like baseball bats the shield into one of the guys. Oh, it's so cool.
Oh man.
It's so cool. And they bring
and then
they bring Rhodey in to like bust up the some of the robots.
Yeah, they're trying to fly away. And then the other great thing is when Thor is fighting Ultron Prime or whatever, and he like stalls, and then he has Bettany hit him with the hammer.
Yep,
that was great.
Awesome.
That was good awesome stuff.
And he's just like,
one thing I'm not about
things to say here.
Yeah, one thing I'm not about. I want to go back to them saving everyone in the city. Is like they're boarding the Airbuses or whatever you want to call them, and the parents are like, "Oh, little Timmy went to the market earlier and he never got out." And then like Barton finds him. Like there's not like a contingency or anybody has to tell Barton go save him. Like they were just gonna leave that kid behind and be like, "Yeah, that's everybody." I don't know. To me, that raises some eyebrows. Like, well, okay, how many kids in markets were not there? I think
that's why she's sitting there screaming about it.
She didn't seem that urgent about it. And I had headphones on. I got the sound you were supposed to get out of this movie. Didn't seem like it didn't seem like the ushers putting people on these Airbuses were too concerned about it.
They didn't have like a list of people. There was no manifest. It's not a cruise ship. Like it's a city.
Right. They were just eyeballing it, man.
Like the city looks pretty freaking empty. But then,
all right, that looks like it's just about everybody.
Let's go. We're kind of running out of time here. Did you catch this? How much older is Pietro than Wanda? 12 minutes.
12 minutes.
12
How many
minutes,
Ethan? 12 minutes, Ethan.
Tyler. Oh my God! And right before this, Tony has one of those Tony Zinger lines real quick, and he says, "You and Banner better not be playing hide the zucchini."
Oh, super inappropriate.
Yeah, and she's like, she busts out a real old school line. She's like, "Not all of us can fly, shellhead."
Yeah, I thought that was silly,
it made me giggle though, because that's what Captain America used to call him in like the 40s. Yeah,
is it?
There's
classic
screen grabs from old Iron Man comics back when he looked like he had a bullet in his face. And where Cap used to call him shellhead. So that's just a little cool thing they did.
Classic. And then we're kind of towards the end of the movie.
Yeah,
the
movie's pretty much over at this point. Ultron drops the city. Tony stops it and blows it up. And
yeah, that turned out to be a little bit easier than I expected it to be. But I was like, you know what? At this point, I've been watching this movie for 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
like whatever.
Yeah, it was really long. They were like, we've got 47 days of footage here. Like I think we're good.
Right. Let's wrap it up.
Hulk flies off in the Quinjet, and Natasha's like, "Listen here, big guy. We can't track you if you're in stealth mode." And he just shuts her up.
Yeah, because Hulk, great segue into Ragnarok, because now Hulk doesn't want to be Banner.
He wants to just be Hulk, and he wants to go somewhere where he can be Hulk, and he goes to Sakaar.
Yeah, to be Goldblum's prized possession.
And then we get the last Ultron out of all of them. He's like barely alive, standing up against the Vision, and Vision just like zaps him out of existence.
Yep. It was like a murder scene. like a bloody murder scene where they couldn't show it happening. But it happened, right? We're supposed like Vision kills him. We're all supposed to accept that. But it happened off screen, so who knows?
For sure. I have no idea. No idea. They just like Doctor Strange him out of there.
And then we see the first post-credit scene. Well, there's like some wrap-up, but like nothing relevant. First post-credit scene is he puts the Infinity Gauntlet on, and he says, I guess I'll just do it myself. And then I didn't watch the second one. What happened?
There wasn't one.
What? I hope we're not wrong.
I mean, I didn't catch one, but you kind of missed some stuff here.
Oh, did I? What did I miss? You can.
Just just kind of into the movie, like. They introduced they got the new facility and that they've got the B-list Avengers now. They show that Hawkeye has a kid named Nathaniel Pietro.
Aww. I loved their little relationship that budded throughout this movie. Yeah. I thought that was
cool.
Great.
It was cool. And, Thor says the thing about, like, if Vision's worthy to wield the hammer, he can keep the Mind Stone.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. He was like, you know what? I trust him to keep it. Well, I think...
Tony and Cap are back to bickering about the hammer, and they get the elevator's not worthy line.
Yep.
It was great. And then Tony says it's time for me to tap out.
And then Thor, I can't remember who says it, but whoever's in the middle of that conversation, I think it's Thor, says like the most self-aware Marvel line ever, where he's like, yeah, it looks like a whole bunch of people have been trying to gather a bunch of things over a couple of years, and now they're going to make a huge scene out of everything. It was literally like he was like talking about the MCU to the camera, like it was very tongue-in-cheek. I thought that was good.
Absolutely. Then the movie's over. We get the post-credit scene. It's great. All that jazz. Thanos says he's going to do it himself. And that is that. Okay. There's the movie. Let's do some
ratings, I guess is what we do now. It might just be a longer episode. People, if this has been longer...
It was a much longer movie.
If you like it. It was a much longer movie. I don't know if this will be in the 90s.
There's a good amount of stuff to... A good amount of stuff we unpacked, and there's a good amount of stuff we could probably pack back up.
That's true.
So we did review... What did you like about this movie?
All of it.
Yeah, no.
I'll be honest. It was just a little long. I'll be honest, though. This movie aged really, really well.
It aged really well because it just ties the rest of the series together, but the rest of the series hadn't happened when it came out. So, like, I'm coming in with advanced knowledge of, like, the next 7 movies. And I'm like, this is cool because it's got all the things that set up the next 7 movies. And I don't know, man. People really to hate this movie.
Yeah, they do.
I just don't get it.
And I don't get that vibe. Yeah, no, I really, really liked it. And maybe there's, like, some glaring thing where people are like, yeah, obviously because of this. But... tell me what it is.
Please add us and explain to us why you don't like Age of Ultron.
Or tell us why you agree and it is so great. I mean, it did get 83% audience reception, which is not a bad number.
No, not at all. But like I wish I could sit here and say, hey, I understand why people don't like it.
Is it better than the other one?
Better than Avengers 1? I think so, honestly.
I do too. I was thinking the same thing.
So that raises an interesting question for me. Because, like, where does it fit in our power rankings?
I don't know. But it's really, really good. Like, it's a little bit different, but it's really, really good. Like, we get the whole Barton story. We get the love story. We get all that stuff. But it works. And, makes you laugh, makes you cry. There's a death, which I think is important. It's got a lot of great
parts to it. And, I mean, James Gunn said about it that he wanted to create... James Gunn was not... I keep messing him up. Joss Whedon said he wanted to create an Avengers movie that it was smaller and more intimate.
I don't know. That this was
it was, though. It was a lot less, like, grandiose.
Yeah. What is our power ranking right now for this?
What do you mean?
Not for this movie. Where does Avengers fall?
I'm checking right now. Hang on a second. So Avengers is currently second. So this is where I'm conflicted, okay? So let's before we get to this, let's do a villain. Where do you put Ultron?
I liked Ultron.
Yeah? Okay.
I liked him pretty well. He's definitely in like the top 3, top 5.
I would agree with that. Do you like him better than Loki? Does he take the number 1 spot? No,
I
don't think so.
Who's
after that? Who else do we got? Ronan. Is he better than Ronan from Guardians?
He's about the same as Ronan.
Okay, so I think Ronan was like second.
I'd put him.
I would agree with that. I think that you can't underestimate the acting behind him. James Spader delivered an amazing performance. And
here's
go ahead. No, I didn't.
No, I'll let you go ahead. No, because I'm gonna diverge.
Okay, and just like all around, I liked his motivation. I think he was good because he thought that he was doing what he had to do, and you can't get any more pure motivation than that. Like he thought he was helping the world.
Yeah, well, he obviously wasn't, but I think and what just to piggyback on why I like this movie so much is like one of the things that make this movie so great is the context. This is the middle Avengers movie, right? And so we've got all this build up that led us to loving these characters, and now we get to see them interact, and it's well done. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't come into this ignoring all the film leading up to it.
No, not at all. Not for a second.
And when you take all that into account, like the characters, I don't think anybody makes like a 180 as to who they were as a character.
Right, I would agree with that.
They fine-tuned some of them. They make, Maria Hill a little bit more bearable. They make Barton a little bit. They develop the sub characters a lot more, because you can tell this movie was trending in a direction of, we're going to kill off the main heroes. And it's gonna be Captain America. It's gonna be Barton. It's gonna be we're gonna kill off Iron Man. Yeah. Is basically what they're telling you.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
So where does this leave us on a power ranking? Do we? Because
I think you and I, if you look at our power rankings compared to the Rotten Tomatoes power rankings, they're like identical.
Are they? Probably.
Pretty close. I think we make a bold move here, and I think we put it at number 2. It's not better than Iron Man 1.
Okay.
None of them.
So
will
here's the trouble I'm having with this, though. Is like I don't. It's not better than Iron Man 1. I would say it's better than the Avengers. Okay, but I don't necessarily know if it's better than Guardians. I don't necessarily know if it's better than First Avenger.
It's better than the First Avenger. Guardians,
so that's what I'm saying is
question, but it's better than the first.
Do we move Avengers?
I think you can move Avengers down. Ooh.
Sorry, so I would almost. I think we might. I don't know, because I don't know. It's tough because I'm struggling with whether or not this is better than Guardians. Is basically it. But if we put it in front of Avengers, it has to be better than Guardians. So do we move Guardians to 2?
I think you move Guardians
to 2. Put this 3, Avengers 4.
I think that's what you can do.
Yeah. I will live with that.
I mean, it's
for sure. I think we can say that we were wrong about. And I mean, the power rankings change weekly. Like real power rankings in sports change weekly. So
right.
So yeah, we're gonna go out on a limb here. We're gonna move Guardians of the Galaxy into 2nd place. Okay. Put this in 3rd place. That'll move the Avengers to 4th place. The first Avenger to 5th. Winter Soldier to 6th, Iron Man 3 to 7th, Thor to 8th, Dark World to 9th, Iron Man 2 to 10th, and The Incredible Hulk to 11th. I mean, we can just go ahead and stick The Incredible Hulk down at 17th.
Bad company, Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 is the movie that never was. It could have been.
I mean, was it Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3 that was Christmas
Iron Man
themed?
3.
That was Iron Man 3. That didn't make any sense.
Iron Man 3. This is interesting. I've been proven wrong again for the 4th week in a row.
Yeah. I'm glad, Ethan growing up was not a man who could just change his opinion on something. So this is a big step in Ethan's life.
I was wrong. I claimed that all of the Phase 2 movies were going to slot right in between Thor and Captain America: The First Avenger.
That's where you store them in your brain. That's where, if you read articles about other people who do the whole series, they don't watch them. They don't. Yeah, they don't do it.
They write them off. But we've got some really good movies coming up.
We do, and I think we're going to really see some impact on the whole brand.
I can imagine probably both Captain America movies so far slip out of the top 5 very rapidly.
Yeah. Well, only one of them's in the top 5.
Yeah. Well, okay. The one that's in the top 5 right now, I think, slips out very rapidly. These are my predictions. My predictions for the future, for how we're going to feel about them.
You think Ant-Man is going to beat it?
Maybe. I don't know. I really don't remember a lot about Ant-Man. But I've got a strong feeling that Civil War is. I think Civil War is next up after Ant-Man.
It might be, but that's not until January.
I mean, but we're not going to put Star Wars on the power ranking.
We'll put it on the
overall power ranking. But it's not going to go on the Marvel power ranking. It's not a better. And I have no idea where Star Wars is going to go because it come out yet.
Right. Ethan, give me a breakfast food. I was able to give you a quick one last time, but this is going to be a knock it out of the park. You didn't expect it, smack you in the face, kind of delicious breakfast. I'm talking about what's that fish people eat for breakfast sometimes?
I have no idea. I don't eat fish.
Herring.
People eat herring for breakfast?
I don't know.
Okay. I have no idea. I don't.
Give me a breakfast.
Oh God, man. Something that is good for breakfast that you wouldn't expect.
Where it all comes together.
Oh, dude. You got an idea? Because I'm floundering here. I got nothing.
I mean, this is like a French toast casserole.
Okay. I agree with that. It's a complete meal in a box.
And you don't even think about it half the time, and then you go to a family reunion, boom, French toast casserole.
Yeah, or really any kind of breakfast casserole, like a great sausage casserole.
I think we did sausage. No, we did a big.
We did a Grand Slam for the Avengers one. Denny's Grand Slam.
I thought that was Captain America.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, I would agree with that. French toast casserole. I can live with that.
Final remarks.
This movie's tight. I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to watch Ant-Man next week.
Very, very good.
I'm excited for the rest of the movies we got coming up. Most of them, I think. I don't know. I'm not super excited for Guardians 2, just because the one I haven't seen, and I've heard no good things about it.
I've heard some good things. I've actually seen some people. I've read some reviews that people are like, "This is the best one by far."
I have seen a couple of those, but like I said last week, you texted me after you saw it, and we're like, Guardians 2. Boo. And you were probably the biggest proponent I knew of the first one. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited for Ant-Man. I'm excited for...
Well, now it is officially the best one in your mind that isn't the most critically acclaimed Marvel movie of all time.
Wait,
so
what
how
is?
does that make you feel? Guardians of the Galaxy is your favorite, according to our power rankings.
It is?
If you exclude the most critically acclaimed Marvel movie.
Why would you exclude that, though? Like,
I mean, you
Iron Man 1 is definitely my favorite. And I don't think necessarily Guardians is my favorite.
You think it's the best?
I think that it's impossible to leave out what it's done for the series. And in my mind, it will not remain at 2.
You're probably right. I think it'll probably fall fast.
I don't think it'll fall fast, honestly.
I don't think it'll fall down the list fast, but I think there will be something that replaces it within the next 3 movies.
I don't.
Interesting.
Yeah, well,
I'm curious.
We could talk off camera. Thank you guys again for listening to another episode of Bacon and Eggs. You may or may not have come to this after. And if you did, well, thanks for the zoop. I appreciate it, Tyler. I love the zoop.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's been 10 minutes since we last
It's
talked
entirely
about something
possible,
on topic.
but I originally hated the zoop, and I've grown to love it and listening to these, and I'm very proud of you. Tyler does a great job editing all these, and I just want to give him a shout out because I don't have to do this.
Thank you.
And it's awesome that he does this. So shout out to Tyler Carlin
great.
because he is the number one editor, number one in my book. Shout out.
Our business and community manager is Ethan Edgehill. He runs all of our Facebook groups and Twitters and whatever else we have out there.
And you know whatever else we have out there these days? We actually did it this week because last week we promised you a Patreon, and now we have a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/baconandeggs if you want to support this podcast and help us keep the lights on and make this continue to work. If you guys love Bacon and Eggs, we love making it for you, so it would be great if you could throw us a couple bucks. Anything helps. Just... we really appreciate it.
Yeah. As always, all of our artwork is done by Vashaun Brandon. You can get his contact info by emailing us at baconandeggsmedia@gmail.com. Or you can reach out to us on Twitter. I am at AmeriCarlin. That's America RLIN. And Ethan is at WowNow. The O's are zeros. If you tweet at us, we will see it.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
I see all the tweets that come to me. I see all the Instagram posts that come to me, and we also are at Bacon and Eggs 23 on Twitter, so you can get us there too. And if you want to reach us, it's baconandeggsmedia@gmail.com. We also have a Facebook like page now, so go throw us a like on that. It's Bacon and Eggs Podcast.
And you can also join our Facebook group, the Bacon and Eggs Fans Group, if you'd like to interact with us, make suggestions for future episodes or anything like that. At the end of the day, that is what we look to the most. Those are our most dedicated group, and we are most invested.
A lot of great people in there, having a lot of great discussions, and we love it. And we're super excited to keep bringing you guys these episodes. So we'll be back next Thursday with Ant-Man.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And I think that's all I got to say. Until next time, arrivederci.
All about that bass. The Colonel's back. 12 blend herbs and spice.